The Black Channel. Lord, if these are our choices for democracy, bring on dictatorship. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel, and I am the Black Authority. And you are listening live to the only historically black college university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. I hope you're ready to join us, because on tonight's program here, you're gonna swear that this is scripted comedy is what you're gonna think. But this is literally the best that the Democrats and the Republicans can offer in the entire state of Georgia. I don't know if this is a more damning commentary on the two political parties or on the state of Georgia itself, but here we go. And I'm glad you're all able to join us here this evening. Well, in case you all didn't know this here, last night there was the great debate, or should I say the not so great debate, between Raphael, what you talking about, Willis, Warnock, and Herschel, who am I, Walker. And let me tell you, I know, look, there's a reason that you have me here, okay? There's a reason that so many of you are tuned into us tonight. And by the way, if you like tonight's program, give me a thumbs up and hit the likes button for me, because I actually had to sit through this damn thing, because y'all wasn't gonna do it. You all were not gonna do it. A few of you were, but most of you would be like, oh, this is too damn cringe. I'll just wait till Jason comes on. I know, you all depend on me for that. I know. Y'all are like, I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit through Wobbly Warnock and Mushmouth Walker. I'll just wait till Jason comes on. He'll watch it and he'll give me the highlights, but I'm not gonna do this. So let me send Jason $20 on CashApp and let him watch it. He's our anchor man. He is the leader of the Black Media, so let me go ahead and let him do that for me. I got other stuff to do, and I'm just worried I'm gonna lose brain cells. Well, you were right. I'll just put it like that. Yeah, you were right. You sure were correct. You were absolutely right. Absolutely. So, I'm watching the debate last night, and man, oh man, I'm not going to try to crack a bunch of jokes. You know, I'm not Mr. Comedian. Unfortunately, these two Negroes make it too damn hard to avoid it. They make it too damn hard. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just cut to the debate here. It was 58 minutes. I'm not going to play the 54 minutes. I'm not going to play the entire thing for you. We're going to go over some of the major parts so you can hear some of what was going on. All I can say is brace yourself. Now, I want to start off the beginning here so that you can see where it was at and things so we can get a premise on how it started.
They also taught me about a good work ethic. And because of that, I found the America's dream. But this race ain't about me.
He found the America's dream. Did you hear that?
They also taught me about a good work ethic. And because of that, I found the America's dream. But this race ain't about me. It's about what Raphael Warnock and Joe Biden had done to you and your family. Tonight, he's going to try to sweet talk you that he's doing a good job, but his record speaks for itself. I'm here to tell you that they've raised your taxes, gave you high inflation. They even put men and women's sports. And I want to let you know that Raphael Warnock, we give him 6 more years.
Okay, that last part there, you almost had a knockout punch there, Herschel. He said men in women's sports, but it sounded like he said men and women's sports. Why would anyone be against men and women's sports? So, Herschel, articulation, my dude.
think what he's going to do. So I'm here to fix it.
Mr. Walker, thank you. Senator Warnock, we turn now to you for your opening statement. You have 60 seconds.
Well, thank you so very much, and hello, Georgia. It's so wonderful to be back here in my hometown. Now, I know that we're in a debate tonight, but...
All right, somebody explain something to me, and I'm not being denigrating or anything. Will someone explain something to me here? I got to figure something out.
Statement, you have 60 seconds.
Well, thank you so very much, and hello, Georgia. It's so wonderful.
Okay, I got a
To
question.
be back here.
I got a question, y'all. Will someone please explain to me why Senator Raphael Warnock looks like Alita Battle Angel? Will someone explain that to me? Because I don't get it. What is going on with that prescription? Or are those really his eyes behind those lenses? I'm hoping that's just his prescription. I'm hoping that's not really his eyes. Because if it is, I'm like, whoa, the aliens have landed. What the hell going on here? So I don't know, is it Senator Warnock or Senator Battle Angel? I'm not sure. All I know is something strange going on here. Something strange going on. I don't trust this. You talk about somebody with shifty eyes. This is beyond shifty. This is beyond bucking your eyes, everybody. We're way past bucking your eyes. This is paranormal activity. Jason, you being mean. Man, look here. You better wake up and take a look at the irises.
In my hometown. Now, I know that we're in a debate tonight, but really I come with a deep heart filled with gratitude, probably because I grew up about a mile from here in the Caton Homes housing projects. I'm one of 12 children in my family. Clearly, my preacher parents read the Bible, be fruitful and multiply.
But you're pro-abortion on any level, and you want abortion on demand. So, you know, I've been looking around and whatnot, and I'm like, this guy's abortion on demand. But then he wants to talk about his parents talking about be fruitful and multiply. Okay, I guess he figured just for his family or whatever. I guess that's what he's trying to say. It's just for his family. I don't know. Maybe we need to look a little bit further into it. Because, by the way, I took a look around. I was looking at the Raphael Warnock. This is a live picture of the Raphael Warnock daycare. So, based on his opinions on abortion, I was able to find this footage from the Raphael Warnock daycare. The Raphael Warnock Daycare Center. They're setting up franchises, so... I'm glad we were able to get footage of that real quick here. Thank you very much. All right.
When I think about the arc of my life, the short distance and the long distance from there to here, I know that only in America is my story possible. My family taught me the importance of hard work and how to build the beloved community that Dr. King used to talk about, and I brought that spirit to the Senate. At the end of the day, this race is about who's ready to represent Georgia in the U.S. Senate. I think that choice is clear, and I look forward to having that discussion tonight.
Thank you, Senator Warnock. Gentlemen, we have a lot to get to this hour. So we will start tonight with the most important issues facing Georgia voters.
Our next star, Emerson College The Hill poll shows the economy, threats to democracy, and abortion access.
Oh, hell. If you all will remember, here it is, right here at the debate. You can't get around it. They made it very clear. This is about the economy. Nobody gives a damn about abortion. So if you think this is going to be an election about your ability to get that fella who you thought you was going to trap with a kid when you figured out he really wasn't a CEO, he really worked down at Five Guys, well, let's go ahead and make that the major issue. If you thought that's what this was going to turn on, if you listened to Elizabeth Warren and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and you thought that's what this election was going to be based on, remember, I told you all from the beginning, ain't nobody giving a damn about abortion. Nobody's going to be saying nothing about this in 30 days. And guess what? There it is. They came right out from the top and said, by the way, this is what our polling shows is folks are more concerned about threats to democracy than abortion. Senator Warnock, would you still like to sit up here and make yourself the Cuisinart candidate? Folks, I don't put you up to speed. I put you ahead of the curve. Now, those of you who've been listening to me the entire time, you already knew that this was how it was going to turn out. That wasn't what it looked like back in July, but I told you by the time we get to September, October, the economy is going to be it. Well, guess what? Here it is. Exactly the way it was projected here at the Black Channel.
Yes, are the top three issues. We're going to begin tonight with the economy. Everyday Georgians are struggling. They're struggling to pay for food, gas, child care, housing. This week, the inflation rate continues to rise. Mr. Walker, we're going to start with you. You've been openly critical, blaming President Biden and the Democrats for inflation and for the economy. If elected, what is one idea that you would champion to reduce inflation? We ask you to be specific. You have 60 seconds.
Well, first of all, you have to blame this administration and Senator Warnock because within 2 years, this inflation has gotten worse. They cut our energy independence. They also raised taxes. And at the same time, they reckless spending all our money. So he would sit here tonight and say,
Herschel. Y'all, I am from the Deep South. I was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana. I've told you this for over a decade. I'm used to people with thick Southern accents and everything. I was born and raised around this my entire life. This is not a Southern accent. This is alliteration of the English language. This is gaps in your language. That's what this is. This is not a Southern accent. This is a sometimes accent. That's what this is. Folks.
Spending all our money. So he was spending all our energy independence. They also raised taxes. And at the same time, they reckless spending all our money.
At the same time, he reckless spending all our money. Now, I've met some really elderly folks from the South. I'm talking about elderly, like 90 years old. They be skipping over words and parts of speech. I understand it. Herschel came out the gate with it, y'all. This is like talking to your great-granddaddy is what it's like. That's what this is right here. So for those of you who are not from the Deep South, this is like talking to our great-granddaddy. He 98 years old and whatnot, so you just understand. You're going to have to piece these sentences together like Legos. You're going to have to piece this together like a puzzle. You understand that there. This guy wants to be your United States Senator.
For energy independence, they also raised taxes. And at the same time, they reckless spending all our money.
Okay, folks, do you all understand something here? I'm going to come back to this, but boy, I'm telling you, can we get some candidates who got a whole brain in the United States? Can we do that?
So he would sit here tonight and say that he's doing a good job for us, and you ask me what is one job I would do to help the inflation. First of all, we got to become independent.
He didn't ask what was one job you would do, sir. He asked what is one thing you would do. The job that you want is senator, sir. He said the job you want is, the job is senator. The thing is what you will do. Okay, I know some of you think this is a bad time for grammar and composition, but I'm just like, Herschel didn't even make it 30 seconds out the gate. He doesn't understand the difference between the job and the thing to do.
Energy independent again. And the reason why, we're going to our enemies to ask for gas and oil. And that puts us not just in an inflation problem, but it puts us in a national security problem. And I think that's something that I think Senator Warnock need to realize. And he mentioned that he grew up here in Savannah with 12 siblings. Well, in this area, most people live paycheck to paycheck. And when you have inflation the way he's brought inflation on, how in the world can you buy grocery or gas for your family?
A follow-up question to that, Mr. Walker. Most economists say that cutting government spending is the first step in economic recovery. I would want to ask you, would you consider cutting military funding or spending on social services to accomplish this goal? And you have 30 seconds.
I would not think about cutting military spending because first, I believe in peace through strength. Right now, we're at a brink of war, and I think right now with Senator Warnock, who he and Joe Biden, they don't show any strength, and we have to protect this country. And I said it early on, right now, because we're giving our energy up to our enemies that don't like us, we have to be ready for war. This is not a playground. So
we had to project strength. We had to project strength. Brother, you are not even projecting coherence. I'm not beating up on you, Herschel. You're not even projecting. Do you think Vladimir Putin is scared of you for any reason other than he might hit the nuclear button by accident? Are y'all sure y'all want to elect him as your senator? I know I'm the Russian dictator and everything. I'm doing all kinds of terrible things. I'm just kidding about my launching nukes. This fella here might actually do it by accident. He'll be sitting there on the phone. Let me pick up my app and order some Uber Eats. Oh, nuclear launch. Oh, World War III. I'll be damned. Oh, I picked up the wrong damn phone. I thought that red button was for Taco Bell or KFC. I didn't know the red button was the end of the world. I'll be damned.
we have to be ready for war right now.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Senator Warnock, since President Biden has taken office, inflation has reached levels that we haven't seen in 40 years. You've supported nearly every piece of legislation that this administration has pushed through Congress. Do you take any responsibility for the financial hardships currently that Georgians are facing? And you have 60 seconds.
There's no question that people are feeling pain at the grocery store, at the pump, at pharmacy counters. And while we are paying record prices, a lot of our corporate actors are seeing record profits.
All right, now I want you to see what Senator Warnock just did. He does this for the entire debate. He does not address a question that he is asked. He spent the entire debate sidestepping and evading practically every question he was asked. He was acting like that dude y'all got down the street, Rollo, when it comes to the child support from the 5 kids. He's trying to avoid getting served by this process server on every morning. He's running down the street. He's hopping fences. He's jumping over cars. He's doing everything. He does this for pretty much the entire debate. Practically every question he is asked. He's not running on his record. He's running from his record. There is no way you can support him because he won't even stand by what he's done. So every time he was asked a question, just understand this is what he did for the entire debate.
In the oil and gas industry and the pharmaceutical industry, which is why I've stood up for ordinary, hardworking Georgia families time and time again. I passed the single largest tax cut, contrary to what my opponent is suggesting, for middle and working class families in American history. And we passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which had 2 of my provisions. One, caps the cost of prescription drugs for seniors so they don't have to choose between buying medicine and buying groceries. And one caps the cost of insulin. He said he would not have voted for the Inflation Reduction Act, and I think he should tell the people of Georgia why he thinks they should have expensive insulin and why the pharmaceutical companies should be able to charge us whatever they like.
Well, first of all, may I respond? I believe in reducing insulin, but at the same time, you got to eat right, because he may not know, and I know many people that's on insulin, and unless you have eating right, insulin is doing you no good. So you have to get food prices down, and you got to get gas down so they can go get insulin.
Herschel! What the hell? Herschel! What? If you want to get insulin down, okay, do you want to get the insulin digested or ingested into the body or metabolized into the body? If you want to get insulin down, you got to eat right. Is he giving folks a lecture on diabetes, a diet of diabetes? Is that what he's... Oh, no, you meant if you want to get insulin. I can't even say if you want to get insulin prices down. I can't even say that. He asked for this. Can I respond? Hell no, Herschel, let it go. Let it go. Just stop. You did okay the first time. But no, Jason, I would like to respond. I would like you to shut up, Negro. I want to speak. If you really want to get insulin down, Lord, here we go. Here we go. I know that all of his campaign advisors and his debate prep people, they must all be sitting at home right now with some Valium and some Lexapro and a fifth of whiskey. It's going to be a long ass night, and he's out there by himself. There's nobody to stop him now. Every crazy ass, wild ass notion that he has now, he's free to just act on it. Boy, I'm telling you.
Companies should be able to charge us whatever they like.
Well, first of all, may I respond? I've
No!
been reducing insulin, but at the same time, you got to eat right, because he may not know, and I know many people that's on insulin, and unless you have eating right, insulin is doing you no good. So you have to get food prices down, and you got to get gas down so they can go get insulin. And you continue to pat yourself on the back, but right now, families are starving. Right now, families are hurting, and they're hurting because of the bills and the laws you're passing right now.
Senator Warnock, I'll give you an opportunity for a
Listen,
rebuttal.
I meet people all the time in my church who are trying to manage their diabetes. I've been there when they've gotten the news that they've got to get an amputation. And I think we're hearing from my opponent tonight that it's their fault that prices of insulin are being gouged. I don't think it's their fault. I think it's the fault of these pharmaceutical.
Did y'all see Herschel put his glasses on and then took his glasses back off again? I'm like, okay, these Negroes got me wondering if these glasses are real. Just forget what they put on. Are these even real glasses, or are these computer generated? I don't know.
Companies. Insulin's been around 100 years. The patent was sold for $1. They're engaged in price gouging, and too many people in Washington think they work for the pharmaceutical companies. I work for the people of Georgia.
Well, he's in Washington.
Can I finish? I work for the people of Georgia.
Yeah, but you're in Washington.
And that's why I stand up for them every single day.
And you're the leader.
Mr. Walker, let's move forward if we can. A follow-up question to you, Senator, in 30 seconds. Georgians need help right now. In your opinion, is the answer another stimulus check, or is there a better option out there to deal with this right now?
We passed the Inflation Reduction Act. He's already told you he would vote against it.
It didn't reduce inflation.
He's already told you that he doesn't believe in capping the cost of prescription drugs for people like my 84-year-old mother.
No,
I don't think they should.
I don't believe in induction.
No, I told him I don't believe in induction. Herschel, my biggest piece of advice to you, sir, and I don't even support you, but as a thespian listening to this car wreck, Herschel, Mr. Walker, less is more. If I could give you one piece of advice, sir, less is more. I know in your head you hear yourself speaking with the articulation of Jason Black and the eloquence of Barack Obama, but believe me, sir, you sound more like Rudy Ray Moore. You sound like Dolomite. I'm giving you a piece of advice, sir. Less is more in your case. I know you feel the need for speed and to interject, but I am seriously imploring you, less is more.
Mr. Walker, let's let him talk.
Yes.
You'll get a second.
I don't think she should have to choose between buying medicine and buying groceries. And that's why I've stood up for her, and I've stood up for hardworking families every single day, and I've stood against the corporations that are being bad actors. They're seeing record profits in the middle of a pandemic.
And
who exploits a pandemic?
Gentlemen, we need to move on to our next topic in the interest of time, so that's election integrity. Tina, it's all yours.
All right, Buck, thank you. Senator Warnock, this question is for you. You have said the new Georgia voting laws implemented after the 2020 election create many obstacles for underserved communities. Yet, there was record turnout in Georgia in the primary this May. According to research done by the Brennan Center for Justice, the African-American vote grew approximately 50% from 2018 to 2022's primaries. Senator, can you explain how the law negatively impacts?
I would just like to take this moment to say, for all of the mature black women out there, ma'am, you represented them very well last night. Hair laid, outfit great, smile not overly made up. She doesn't look like she's got them damn clown eyebrows drawn on, looking like damn me Groucho Marx. So I would just like to say, I've never seen this sister before, but I would like to say she represented very well last night. So for all the older chicks who ain't got a man, y'all might want to take a few lessons from her. Them earrings I ain't so certain about, but everything else, yeah, she might be able to find a sponsor. So I just wanted to say, on behalf of all of us watching Georgia last night, ma'am, you represented the over 40 sisters very, very well last night.
Minority votes. You have 60 seconds, sir.
So I have spent my whole career long before coming to the Senate fighting for voting rights, because I believe that a vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children. We register people to vote in my...
He said, I believe a vote is a kind of prayer. Now, that's not funny to me. A politician telling us that voting is like praying. Praying is what you do to a deity. What in the hell? This potato sack head fella up here, I believe that voting is a kind of prayer. What the hell? What kind of church is he leading? The Church of Satan? What in the world are y'all doing in Georgia?
Prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for my whole career long before coming to the Senate fighting for voting rights, because I believe that a vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children. We register people to vote in my church. And in the Senate, I've stood up for democracy because that's the framework in which we get to fight for all of the things we care about. There is no question that SB 202 makes voting harder, and that is the intent. And the fact that many of our voters are overcoming this hardship doesn't undermine that reality. They've made it harder for folks to use the drop boxes. They've shortened the registration times.
Okay, so basically he's upset for Stacey Abrams, I guess. All right.
For questions on voter fraud. We'd like to hear your thoughts in 60 seconds.
Boy, I'm telling you one more time, Herschel.
Questions on voter fraud. We'd like to hear your thoughts.
Boy, that is the face of confusion right there. Oh, Lord, what was it you just talking about right there? Man, what was that again?
Get here, and I'm honored to represent you in the United States Senate.
Senator Warnock, thank you. Mr. Walker, we move to you now. In 2020, Georgia became the epicenter for questions on voter fraud. We'd like to hear your thoughts in 60 seconds.
We became the ESPN of voter fraud? I didn't know we was ESPN. I thought that was up north. I know we got CNN down here. What did you mean? Georgia became the ESPN of voter fraud? I'm confused, ma'am. I think you was wrong, ma'am. You is pretty, but I think you was wrong.
In 2020, Georgia became the epicenter for questions on voter fraud. We'd like to hear your thoughts.
You know, Herschel, that's what I'm thinking there. Herschel, like, wait a minute. EpiPen. Are we back on healthcare again? I thought we were talking about election fraud. EpiPen. Georgia is the EpiPen of voter fraud? Georgia is the EpiPen. I don't think you know what that word means, ma'am. I don't think Georgia is the EpiPen of voter fraud. Nor do I think it's the ESPN of voter fraud. I don't think it's either one. So I disagree with your characterization of my state.
Senator Warnock, thank you. Mr. Walker, we move to you now. In 2020, Georgia became the epicenter for questions on voter fraud. We'd like to hear your thoughts in 60 seconds. Did President Biden defeat former President Donald Trump in 2020? Again, sir, you have 60 seconds.
Well, first of all, I need to mention that he said that SB 202, really it made it easier to vote and harder to cheat. And she mentioned that more people turned out for the primary. So you gotten good at in Washington not answering that question, because that was the question she asked you. And did President...
Okay, now Herschel did pick that up, and he actually spent a lot of this debate hammering Warnock about, by the way, you don't answer any questions. So I will tell you all, as far as message discipline, Herschel, who doesn't have a lot of discipline to give right now, he did as good a job as he gonna give post-concussion. He did about as good a job as he's gonna give of pointing out repeatedly, by the way, Senator Warnock, you might be more articulate and coherent than me, but you don't answer any questions. They keep asking you questions and you don't answer them. So I give him credit first and foremost. At least he was able to recall that part of his debate strategy, is keep pointing out that Warnock doesn't answer questions.
Biden win.
That is
President
the
Biden
question.
won. President turned out for the primary. So you gotten good at in Washington not answering that question, because that was the question she asked you. And did President Biden win?
That is the question.
President Biden won, and Senator Warnock won. That's the reason I decided to run, because we need a.
Now that was actually a pretty good answer right there. When they asked him, did President Biden win? He said, President Biden won, Senator Warnock won, and that's why I have to run now. So he actually handled that one very well. She was real cautious when he said, did Biden win? She said, yes, that was the question, sir, just in case you were confused in any way. Yes, that was actually the question I asked you.
Made it easier to vote and harder to cheat. And she mentioned that more people turned out for the primary. So you gotten good at in Washington not answering that question, because that was the question she asked you. And did President Biden win?
That is the question.
President Biden won, and Senator Warnock won. That's the reason I decided to run. Because we need a change in Washington. We need leaders that's going to stand up to foreign leaders. We need people that's going to stand up for people in Georgia. Because Senator Warnock, he went to Washington, but he forgot about Georgia. And I want to stand for the people of Georgia. He just mentioned he's standing for the people of Georgia, but can he tell me why he voted with Joe Biden 96% of the time if he was standing for Georgia? That tells you that he's for Joe Biden, I'm for Georgia.
Mr.
Okay, so I guess maybe they had him memorize that to the best of his ability to memorize it. So Herschel actually did good there. That was pretty much the highlight of the debate for him. I think for both of them, it's all downhill after this.
Walker, thank you. Now, before we move on, gentlemen,
I'd like to respond to that.
I will give you that opportunity, sir. I will give you that opportunity, Senator. You have 15 seconds to respond.
Now, I will say one thing. The debate moderators, they really were throwing some sharp elbows during this thing. So if you all don't like debates where the moderators let the candidates run all over the place, she wasn't having it, and old dude was following her lead. So she definitely put in as much work as she could to keep things within the format and to keep control of the debate.
It is very clear that my opponent would rather be running against anybody except me. But
I'm
either
happy
me,
to run
there
against
are only
you.
two people who are going to sit in this seat, either me or my opponent. And I think this race is about who's ready to represent the people of Georgia, and I'm thinking about them every single day.
But if he cut from the same cloth at 96% of the time, I'm running he and Joe Biden because they're the same.
Herschel, what? What the hell? Can somebody decipher that sentence they just heard?
And I'm thinking about them every single day.
But if he cut from the same cloth at 96% of the time, I'm running he and Joe Biden because they're the same.
Okay, I'm about to just stop altogether. If he cut from the same cloth, then I'm running him and Joe Biden the same. Folks, I didn't edit this. This is not editing on my part. I didn't clip any words. I'm playing it for you as it occurred. If you're voting for Raphael Warnock, I don't know why you're doing it, but if you're voting for Raphael Warnock, you just love kissing Joe Biden's ass. If you're voting for Herschel Walker, I think you think this is a game show, and you're looking for the most entertaining character. Well, I thought he was pretty damn entertaining. Okay, great. Folks.
Or my opponent. And I think this race is about who's ready to represent the people of Georgia, and I'm thinking about them every single day.
But if he cut from the same cloth at 96% of the time, I'm running he and Joe Biden because they're the same.
Gentlemen,
And then there was some folk in the audience who clapped for that. People, I understand you were probably put there by the Republican Party. Y'all don't want people going back and playing that sentence again. You really don't. So don't clap to bring attention to this part. This isn't the part you want to draw attention to. It's really not. It really isn't.
Gentlemen, we are moving on now. This next question, this is a yes or no response, and this is for both of you, Senator Warnock. Yes or no, regardless of who wins in November, will you accept the outcome?
Yes.
And Mr. Walker, regardless of who wins in November, will you accept the outcome?
Yes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Buck, over to you.
Thank you, Tina. We turn now to the topic of abortion. We're going to start with you, Mr. Walker. A week before this debate, a former girlfriend made public accusations saying you paid for an abortion and that you encouraged her to have another. In an ABC News interview this week, you said that the accusations are, quote, all lies. For the voters watching tonight, can you explain the circumstances surrounding these claims? You have 60 seconds.
So then, Herschel Walker, you have an ex-girlfriend who says you paid for an abortion. I have never paid for a boat show. I have never been to a boat show. So I don't know what she thought we was doing down there in Pensacola, Florida, but I have never been to a boat show. Never paid for a boat show. I think we got nice, pretty boats on Jekyll Island, but I have never paid for a boat show. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Saying you paid for an abortion and that you encouraged her to have another. In an ABC News interview this week, you said that the accusations are, quote, all lies. For the voters watching tonight, can you explain the circumstances surrounding these claims? You have 60 seconds.
Well, as I said, that's a lie. And, what most thing I put it in a book. One thing about my life is I've been very transparent. Not like the senator.
He said, I put it in a book. Does he even remember what it was? Sir, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's been about 30 years. I can't even remember that there was a female to have an abortion for. So I am just going to have to plead the fifth. How you going to ask me an unfair-ass question like that? Pay for an abortion? Do you understand how many places I've been since then? I don't remember none of this.
He's hid things. But at the same time, I said that's a lie. And on abortion, I'm a Christian. I believe in life. And I tell people this, Georgia is a state that respects life, and I'll be a senator that protects life. And I said that was a lie, and I'm not backing down. And when you have Senator Warnock, people that would do anything and say anything for this seat, but I'm not going to back down because this seat is too important to the Georgia people for me to back down right now.
You've been vocally pro-life, supporting a ban on abortions without exceptions. Would you support a complete ban on a national level?
Well, first of all, see, that's not true either. I said I support the heartbeat bill. And I said I support the Georgia heartbeat bill because that's the bill of the people from Governor Kemp. And I said that has exceptions in it. I said I'm a Christian, but I'm also representing the people of Georgia, and that's who I represent. So what the people of Georgia stand for, I'm going to stand with them.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Senator Warnock, you've said repeatedly that the exam room is too small for the patient, her doctor, and the U.S. government. We're asking you to take a clear position right now. Do you believe there should be any limitations on abortion set by the government? And you have 60 seconds.
I think that the women of this country and the women of this state woke up one summer morning and a core protection that they've known for 50 years was taken from them by an...
All right, now did you hear the man asked him, do you believe there should be any limits on abortion? I believe that the women of Georgia, they woke up one morning at the crack of dawn when the chickens was clucking, and a core protection that they have enjoyed, because we know that women enjoy getting abortions, especially in Atlanta, outside the Magic City. We know that they enjoy getting abortions. And then they woke up one morning and all of a sudden they got to take care of these little bastards now. So I need to make sure they ain't got to do that, because that last one thought she was going to ring me with that outside baby. And I told her, oh no, I'm a senator. I paid for abortion to stay legal. So you going to have to go. Oh, I'm sorry.
her doctor, and the U.S. government. We're asking you to take a clear position right now. Do you believe there should be any limitations on abortion set by the government? And you have 60 seconds.
I think that the women of this country and the women of this state woke up one summer morning and a core protection that they've known for 50 years was taken from them by an extremist Supreme Court. And I stand where I've said I stand in the past, that a patient's room is too narrow and small and cramped a space for a woman, her doctor, and the United States government.
But it's big enough for you to fit up in there, huh?
We are witnessing right now what happens when politicians, most of them men, pile into patients' rooms.
Okay, so now Raphael Warnock is running against men, who it takes a man to create a baby. Raphael Warnock is sitting right here at the debate running against men. I want you to think about how insane what he's doing is right now. He's sitting here running against men. Now, if she has the baby, she's also going to tell you, he's going to tell you, well, you got to take care of it. Meanwhile, he's piling up all his side chicks in his Navigator and driving them all down to the abortion clinic.
You get what you're seeing right now. And the women and the United States government, we are witnessing right now what happens when politicians, most of them men, pile into patients' rooms. You get what you're seeing right now. And the women of Georgia.
Those were all of the strippers at Magic City that you all heard clapping. All the part-time strippers, them chicks who trying to pay off their student loans through OnlyFans and putting up an IG at Magic City. So that was them you just heard. And the chicks who don't want to lose their WIC, want to pick and choose their WIC vouchers. They trying to get pregnant by an athlete there in Atlanta. That was them you heard clapping.
What happens when politicians, most of them men, pile into patients' rooms? You get what you're seeing right now. And the women of Georgia deserves a senator who will stand with them. I trust women more than I trust politicians.
May I respond?
Now you heard that. I trust women more than I do politicians. Sir, what are you running for? Oh, political office. Did you also notice he did not answer the question? He was asked, do you support any limits on abortion? He did not answer the question again. So anybody telling us to vote for Raphael Warnock, what are we voting for? He won't tell us what he's for, except vote for me. That's literally all he's doing. He's not answering a single question.
Very quickly, Mr. Walker.
Yeah. It is, and I heard about him. I heard he's a neat talker. But did he not mention that there's a baby in that room as well? And also, did he not mention that he asking the taxpayer to pay for it? So he's bringing the government back into the room. So he's not talking about that. So when he mentioned that, it's like I've not seen too many pastors that would say that statement.
Mr. Warnock, I'll give you a chance to rebut.
I am a pastor. I'm a man.
What the hell, church?
Man of faith. And I have a profound.
I know it's MLK's church, everybody, but I'm just saying he needs to just stop with that.
Chance to rebut.
I am a pastor. I'm a man of faith. And I have a profound reverence for life and a deep respect for choice. And because I have such a profound reverence for life, it's one of the reasons why I've stood up to address this issue of maternal mortality in our country.
So damn the babies all together. He's just about, look, I'm about these hoes. I ain't worrying about no cheering, no babies, no nothing. I'm all about them. Babies can't vote, so damn them. At my church, it's like, okay, if you can't put something in the collection plate, you don't matter.
We lead all of the Western nations on that front, and black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die even when they have the insurance and the income. Now, that's something government could actually do something about. And I joined with Marco Rubio of Florida to pass a bill to address maternal mortality. The women of Georgia have a clear choice as we're watching women die. Do you want a senator who wants to control your life, or do you want a senator who wants to save your life? I want to save your life.
Well, what's funny,
We need
man,
to keep moving, Mr.
I
Walker.
have to respond to this.
Very quickly.
Because he told me Black Lives Matter. And if you think about it, Senator, in Atlanta, Georgia, there's more black baby that is aborted than anything. So if...
Damn, Herschel! Folks, I mean, the ball was teed up. He just had to finish the damn sentence in a coherent manner. That's all he had. There are more black babies aborted than anything. Really? Herschel? Really? Oh, man.
Than anything. So...
Save your life.
Well, what's funny,
We need
man,
to keep moving, Mr. Walker.
I have to respond to this.
Very quickly.
Because he told me Black Lives Matter. And if you think about it, Senator, in Atlanta, Georgia, there's more black baby that is aborted than anything. So if Black Lives Matter, why are you not protecting those babies? And instead of aborting those babies, why are you not baptizing those babies?
Mr. Warnock,
Well, Herschel, you was the damn one who did it. I made it all this damn time. I was able to make it 45 minutes. Herschel was the one who did it. Dude, this was a slam dunk. It was a slam dunk. But the problem right there, why are you not baptizing these babies? From John Lewis to this? Why are you aborting these babies? Why are you not baptizing these babies? You need to, if you need insulin, you need to eat good. Why are you aborting these babies? You need to baptize. Why are you not baptizing these babies?
Than anything. So if Black Lives Matter, why are you not protecting those babies? And instead of aborting those babies, why are you not baptizing those babies?
Mr. Warnock, or Senator Warnock will give you a chance to respond to that.
I think the women of Georgia.
Oh, did y'all hear the way Warnock was stumbling and stuttering on that one? Well, you know, I feel like the women of Georgia. Okay, boy, he came out. I mean, you came out stuttering and stumbling after Herschel Walker? Herschel just fumbled the damn ball, and then you tripped and fell over it. This is a clown show candidacy.
Those babies.
Mr. Warnock, or Senator Warnock will give you a chance to respond to that.
I think the women of Georgia have a clear choice. He says no exceptions, even in the case of rape, incest, or the life of the mother. I think that's extreme, is out of touch with Georgia, and I intend to do the work that senators can do.
See, he didn't
Mr.
read
Walker,
the heartbeat bill.
Okay, forget about a damn heartbeat bill, Herschel. Why didn't you say Senator Warnock says there should be no limits on abortion, that you can abort the babies while you're going through the drive-through 13 hours. If your water breaks, you can go to the drive-through at McDonald's and still abort your babies. He wants no limits on it, as evidenced by the fact that he refuses to answer the question if there should be any limits. Instead, Herschel thinks he's got the voice of eloquence. Herschel, less is more.
The way he didn't
We've
read
got
the
to move
heartbeat
forward, Mr.
bill,
Walker.
that there is exceptions for that in the heartbeat bill. So when he
All right,
makes
I'm going to
a
ask you to
statement that
respect
is
Mr. Walker
untrue,
that we need to
and I
move
do
on, okay?
respect
We've
that,
got
but
a
Senator, you have
lot
to
to
read
get in
that
tonight.
bill.
A follow-up question for you, Senator Warnock. We ask that you take a listen to something that you said at a rally just a couple of weeks ago.
So women, I trust women and their wisdom and their ability to sit with their own doctor.
Okay, I got to say this right here. Is this a woman back here in the back with this white head of hair looking down? They've already, baby, you ain't got the ability to give birth to nothing. I'm hoping that's a woman back there. I hope I'm not wrong. I'm just saying he's talking to a bunch of chicks. They've already passed their childbirthing years, and they chose the wrong men the whole damn time. What in the hell? And then you see the way they be looking at him and whatnot. They're just looking for a sponsor at this point in their lives. So he's running the preacher man hustle. So on the one hand, I can't hate him because he's running the preacher man hustle on these dumb women like he's been doing his whole damn life. But this is shameless.
And if they choose to sit with their pastor and to pray about that and let their own conscience guide them.
Okay, now this isn't funny to me. I'm going to play this again because I want you all to hear this, because this isn't funny to me. I'm not joking or laughing about this. Listen to what he says.
A couple of weeks ago.
So women, I trust women in their wisdom and their ability to sit with their own doctor.
That's right.
And if they choose, to sit with their pastor. And to pray about that and let their own conscience guide them.
That decision. That's
Even
right.
God gave us a choice.
That's right, didn't he?
Even God gave us a choice. Can you clarify what you meant by that? You have 30 seconds.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't answer this question either. Spoiler alert, he doesn't answer this question either. Look at him. He looks like a damn deer in the headlights. He's like, damn, I didn't know you was going to play that video. He looks like a Negro who got caught in child support court that 3 other baby mamas showed up at the same damn time. Look at him. He looks guilty. I'm not joking. This Negro looks guilty as hell. He looks guilty as hell. He doesn't even look halfway innocent. He looks guilty as hell. He knows he's a liar. That's a facial expression that says, I know I'm dishonest. I know I'm lying. Now, here's the real thing I want to point out to you all. Did you hear what he said? I trust the women. I trust the women down here. And if they sit with their pastor. Notice he didn't say if they sit with their husband. He said if a woman sits with her pastor, and if after talking to me and my slick jive talking ass, if she sits with the pastor and the pastor says, now look here, Deaconess Jones, now you know my wife my wife ain't gonna like this right now, so you got to get rid of that little bastard. God gave us abortion. But take a look at that. He says, if she sits with her pastor. Did you hear that? If you want to know why it is that black men are pushing back as hard as we are, because I ain't going to let some jive talking, double dealing ass fraud like this clown sit up here and tell me that in my home, he's got more of a say than I do. Where he's openly telling the women, you don't have to listen to your husband, you just have to listen to me. You just have to listen to me, the pastor. You know what this jive talking fork tongue nigga ain't saying? He's not saying, well, you know, if your man comes and talks to the pastor about getting some side chicks, and if his conscience dictates that he should haveth a side chicketh, well, that is between him and the pastor, and if his conscience leads him to do so, then you should respect that, and his woman and the government should keep their ass out of it. Now, you notice he isn't going to say, somebody needs to ask him that. By the way, if a man wants to have a side chick and a mistress, you also approve that sexual behavior being strictly between him and his pastor. Correct, Raphael? Because we know you got some side chicks. We already know you got that. Your wife spilt the beans on your ass, so we know about that one, right? Notice, I don't think you're going to hear him say anything about that. This is the reason why black men have said, no, the church ain't leading nothing, because the church is now run by a bunch of sexual deviants, degenerates, and congenital liars like Raphael Warnock, who will sit up here and encourage the most debased, hedonistic behavior, and this man's life is a complete damn shambles. This is why black men have said we got to take the lead, and we ran all of the pastors up off the block. This is why he keeps yelling about the women, because men ain't gonna sit up here and let him run us. So he keeps saying, well, let me see if I can get the women to do it, because I already tried this on the men, and the men said they ain't having it. So notice he's running against black men. Did you get that? He's running against black men. He's just openly saying, I'm against the men. Yeah, because the men don't support you. Except the ones who are scared of getting put on child support. They sitting there, vote Warnock. Hey, brother, you need to vote for Raphael Warnock now. Nigga, he ain't gonna get elected soon enough to save you no way. So just understand, I wanted you all to peep that and hear that. If a woman is sitting with her pastor, he didn't say if she's sitting with her family, if she's sitting with her husband, if she's sitting with her mother and her father. If a woman is sitting with her pastor and I get his cosign to it, everything good.
Let their own conscience guide them. And to pray about that and let their own conscience.
Just a couple of weeks ago.
So women, I trust women in their wisdom and their ability to sit with their own doctor.
That's right.
And if they choose, to sit with their pastor. And to pray about that and let their own conscience guide them.
Make that decision. That's
Even
right.
God gave us a choice.
That's right, didn't he?
Even God gave us a choice. Can you clarify what you meant by that? You have 30 seconds.
Oh, I think it's self-explanatory.
No, it ain't.
God gave us a choice. And I respect the right of women to make a decision. These are medical decisions. They're deeply personal. Women find themselves in a range of circumstances. And this issue has been far too politicized. And we're witnessing right now the chaos that ensues as a result of that.
Folks, he did not answer the question. He was asked, what do you mean by God gave us a choice? Well, I think it's rather obvious. God gave us a choice, and he gave women a choice. So you have a choice. Did you see that? He's not answering any questions about himself, about what he's done. This is why he couldn't put Herschel Walker away, because every time they handed him the mic, he keeps running from himself.
Clarify what you meant by that. You have 30 seconds.
Oh, I think it's self-explanatory.
Boy, do y'all hear him talking like dumb Donald? The whole damn time he sits up here and he started stuttering right out the gate. This is when the mind is in conflict. When the mind is in conflict with itself and it knows it cannot tell the truth, but people are demanding that you speak, then you start stuttering, stammering, and talking in circles. Anybody who studies psychology knows that's the way that the brain works. When the brain is in conflict with itself, lying. He starts stuttering, stammering, and talking in circles.
God gave us a choice. And I respect the right of women to make a decision. These are medical decisions. They're deeply personal. Women find themselves in a range of circumstances. And this issue has been far too politicized. And we're witnessing right now the chaos that ensues as a result of that. And women right now who may be facing a miscarriage in some cases are wondering what will happen and how will they have to explain that. I think that's deeply problematic. There are enough politicians piling into the rooms of patients, and I don't plan to join them.
But just to clarify, in your opinion, God gave us a choice in regards to abortion.
It is apparent.
Sound like Roland Martin. I bet you he's mad as hell at that damn moderator. Damn it, ain't you supposed to move on to the next question? Ain't you supposed to give the damn mic to Herschel Walker? What the hell you doing cross-examining me? How you gonna come back around? Don't you see I was trying to dodge that damn thing? What the hell you gonna do? Bring it back over here to me. Ain't you supposed to hand the damn mic to Walker? Boy, I know he's mad enough to start cussing up in there.
Problematic. There are enough politicians piling into the rooms of patients, and I don't plan to join them.
But just to clarify, in your opinion, God gave us a choice in regards to abortion.
It is apparent that God has given us a range of choices, and the people of Georgia have a choice right now about who they think should represent them in the Senate.
So God gave us abortion. Okay. So this is what he tells his side chicks. Look here, baby, God gave us abortion now. God gave us abortion now. He gave us abortion. He expects us to use it now. He expects us to use it, baby. So let me get your ass down here to this clinic. God expects us to abuse it. See, we need to keep abortion in the state of Georgia because I don't want to have to drive all the way over to Florida or some mess like that. So God gave us abortion now, baby.
Man, may I have to respond?
Mr. Walker, we do have to move on to our next
This will
topic.
be very short, because he's correct. God gave us a choice. But also within the Bible, if you read the Bible more, God said choose life. In the Bible, it says, I give you a choice. Just like Adam and Eve had a choice, but they chose death.
Very
and
quick,
God
rebuttal,
says you
very
choose
quick.
life.
Mr. Walker.
Herschel! Y'all, when you heard him say, I want to respond to that, and then he wants to go off on a theological adventure. What the? God said choose life. And it's just like in the Bible when you had Adam and Eve and they chose death. And then you had Moses and they chose plaid. And then you had Elijah and they chose turquoise. Herschel, just, you had it right. The Bible says choose life. And then Herschel was like, he didn't know when to stop, y'all. He didn't know when to stop. Hey, I'm on a roll. Herschel, less is more.
We need to move forward.
I think he wants to arrogate to politicians more power than God has.
Did y'all hear when he said arrogate and Herschel started laughing? I don't even irrigate, sir. I don't work no landscaping. Do y'all hear this man? He is accusing me of being a landscaper. I don't irrigate. I respect the farmers. And when I get to the Senate, I will make sure that we defend our food supply because I like potatoes at McDonald's. But no, sir, you are wrong. I do not irrigate anything. I do not plan on irrigating nothing, sir.
In the Bible, it says, I give you a choice. Just like Adam and Eve had a choice, but they chose death.
Very
and
quick,
God
rebuttal,
says you
very
choose.
quick. Mr. Walker, we need to move forward.
I think he wants to arrogate to politicians more power than God has.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. We're going to have to move on to our next topic, okay? Tina?
Okay. We are moving on, gentlemen, on the next topic, and it is about student loans. We turn to Christian Dent, a college student and Nexstar News Nation viewer from Locust Grove, Georgia.
As a college student at the University of Georgia, me and my peers are often faced with confronting the rising costs that come with obtaining a college degree. In the United States Senate, will you support further forgiveness of student loan debt? And if so, how will you implement it in the United States Senate on a federal level?
Our thanks to Christian for that question. Senator Warnock, your answer, please, in 60 seconds.
I wouldn't be standing here tonight if it weren't for low-interest student loans and Pell Grants. And in the years since I've graduated, that path has gotten harder. I ran into a couple on a flight, and they wrote a note for me. They were with their one-year-old son. They said, whatever you do, please do something about this student debt. The mother said, I borrowed $35,000. I paid back $20,000. I still owe $30,000. And that's why I pushed the president.
What happened to strong and independent? I thought you were making all these choices on your own. All right, never mind.
To do student debt relief. He did $10,000, and with my urging, he did $20,000 for folks with Pell Grants. I think it was the right move. It will spur entrepreneurship, home ownership. It helps kids in technical schools and vocational schools, not just four-year colleges. But we need reform.
Wait a minute. Back that up?
Relief. He did $10,000, and with my urging, he did $20,000 for folks with Pell Grants. I think it was the right move. It will spur entrepreneurship, home ownership. It helps kids in technical schools and vocational schools, not just.
Hold on a second. Did Warnock just have a Herschel Walker moment? Did he just have a CTE moment? Student loans are going to help you with entrepreneurship and home ownership. Really?
My urging. He did $20,000 for folks with Pell Grants. I think it was the right move. It will spur entrepreneurship, home ownership. It helps kids in technical schools and vocational schools.
Y'all, this is what these folk is just saying things. They're just saying things. What the hell is the student loan got? They're just saying stuff now, y'all. This can't actually happen. This cannot really happen. Folks, they just saying things. This is the mental disability debate. That's what the hell this is. This is the concussion debate. Everybody here needs to be on Alzheimer's. This is the dementia debate. You have to be demented to run now. This is the dementia debate in Georgia.
not just four-year colleges, but we need reform. We shouldn't be doing this again 10 years from now. And I'm working right now on the kind of reform we need because college is outpacing the price of everything else in our economy.
A follow-up for you, sir. Why do you believe this should be done through executive action instead of Congress? And also, how would this be funded? You have 30 seconds.
The president has already moved to do student debt relief. And there's additional relief for folks like me who, when they got student loans, were Pell Grant eligible. But there's no question we need reform in the system so that we can get the cost of college underway. We don't find ourselves here again. And that's my position. Thank you.
Senator Warnock, thank you. Mr. Walker, to repeat...
We need reform in the system so that we do not find ourselves here again. And that's my position. So in other words, no answer. Again.
Christian's question, will you support further forgiveness of student loan debt? And if so, how would you implement it?
Oh, Herschel looking confused again.
Further forgiveness of student loan debt. And if so, how would you implement it?
Y'all, did you see Herschel's face again?
Further forgiveness of student loan debt. And if so, how would you implement it?
Hey, look, how would I instrument it? I don't even play no instrument, ma'am. I mean, I know we in a school and everything, but how would I instrument it? No, I wouldn't play a guitar. I wouldn't do that. No guitar, no tambourines. I wouldn't do that neither. So, no, ma'am, I wouldn't instrument it, but I would execute. I would put it into motion. I would act upon it, but no, ma'am, I would not instrument. There would be no, I'm not holding no music class. Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, you can see that...
60 seconds, sir. I apologize.
Yes, first of all, you can see that Senator Warnock has gotten good at being in Washington because you asked the question, why did Congress not do it instead of the president doing an executive order, which is what should have been done. And as I was traveling around the state of Georgia, I talked to people. Some people that wanted to go to college, they couldn't. So they ended up going and working on Father's Farm. Some military wanted to go to college, they didn't. So he went to the military and may have lost an arm. So this is not right. Georgia people say it's not right. They said it's unfair. First of all, how can you transfer someone debt who owe it to someone that don't owe it? And also, Senator Warnock brags about making $400 billion that now the taxpayer, all you in the audience, got to pay for. You got to pay that debt. And I didn't co-sign for anyone's loan. I hope no one out here co-signed for anyone's loan.
What'd you say? I didn't co-sign for a loan. I didn't co-sign for that abortion that I took old girl to. I didn't approve none of this. People, I'm sorry. Herschel, I gotta back this up and play this again because this was his damn answer.
Transfer someone debt who owe it to the state of Georgia. I talked to people. Some people that wanted to go to college, they couldn't. So they ended up going and working on Father's Farm. Some military wanted.
I talked to some people who wanted to go to college, but they couldn't. So they ended up working on their father's farm. Herschel! Well, if you can't go to college, that's okay. You can work on the family farm. So basically the GOP is like, we don't give a damn what happens in this district. We just throwing caution to the wind. Whatever it's going to be is what it's going to be. Jesus, take the wheel. These are not my words. These are his.
College, they couldn't. So they ended up going and working on Father's Farm. State of Georgia. I talked to people. Some people that wanted to go to college, they couldn't. So they ended up going and working on Father's Farm. Some military wanted to go to college, they didn't. So he went to the military and may have lost an arm. So
Herschel, do you hear yourself? Well, I know you didn't get to go to the college like you wanted to, but instead you went to the military, and yeah, you might have lost an arm, but ain't you glad that you avoided that Pell Grant? Aren't you glad that you avoided that Perkins loan? Yeah, I mean, I know you lost an arm and a leg. I understand that. Looking like Davy Jones' locker, but ain't you glad at least you ain't got no student loan debt? Folks. Well, you gotta go work on your family farm. You know, you learned a good hard work ethic there. I think that good for you. See, you ain't got no student loan debt. Yeah, you went to the military there and you blew your leg off over there in Afghanistan, but at least you ain't got no student loan debt, folks. All I'm saying is I don't care if you agree with student loan forgiveness or not, and I don't, but I'm smart enough to know that this isn't a winning slogan. Avoid student loan debt. Go in the military and get your arm blown off. I'm smart enough to know that that's not the slogan that you use. That's not the right answer. Can you imagine an 18-year-old kid hearing that? Okay, should I take out a student loan debt and hope for forgiveness or go to the military and lose an arm? Whoa! I ain't trying to lose no limbs this early. I ain't even got to use them good yet. Oh, I think I'll vote for Warnock and Biden. Yeah, let me go ahead and vote for Warnock and Biden. The choice is student loan debt or lose an arm. Let me vote for Warnock and Biden. I'm trying to keep my damn fingers. Herschel Walker, vote for me. Lose an arm. Do you all understand that? Herschel, what the hell? Enjoy the joys of being an amputee. Vote Walker. Elbows are overrated. Vote Herschel Walker. Two functioning arms is a luxury. Vote Walker.
Not do it instead of the president doing an executive order, which is what should have been done. And as I was traveling around the state of Georgia, I talked to people. Some people that wanted to go to college, they couldn't. So they ended up going and working on father's farm. Some military wanted to go to college, they didn't. So he went to the military and may have lost an arm. So this is...
Sir, I didn't get student loan debt, but I lost an arm. Well, that's okay, son. You got two of them. The Lord gave you two of them. So don't worry, you lost one arm, but you got a spare one, don't you? Sir, they're supposed to work together. Well, sometimes they do, but you know, when I was playing football, sometimes I would tuck the ball under. See, I didn't always try to catch it. I would tuck the ball under. Herschel, stop.
It's not right. Georgia people say it's not right, they say it's unfair. First of all, how can you transfer someone debt who owe it to someone that don't owe it? And also, Senator Warnock brags about making $400 billion that now the taxpayer, all you in the audience, got to pay for. You got to pay that debt. And I didn't co-sign for anyone's loan. I hope no one out here co-signed for anyone's loan, because I didn't co-sign for anyone's loan, and it's not right, it's not fair.
Mr. Walker, we're continuing with a follow-up for you now, Mr. Walker. College tuition, it skyrocketed. 175% over the past 20 years. What will you do to stem the cost of higher education going forward?
Well, first
you
of all,
have 30 seconds.
First of all, what you should do is get rid of federal funding of any college that raised their costs. Get rid of federal funding of any college that raised their costs. That's the first thing that you should do.
Okay, now actually, that's actually the correct thing to do. The reason that college tuition has exploded over the last 45 years is because colleges started being run like corporations. When the federal government began paying for these things, paying for student loans, the colleges were like, well, we'll be damned. This is a free lunch ticket. So next thing you know, the colleges started skyrocketing their tuitions. So in reality, what he just said, that is the answer. Absolutely. That if you start doing that at these institutions, then the government should start stripping the money from it. Now, in reality, that's actually the correct thing. Anybody who has researched this, if you understand college tuition and you take a look at the spike that it went on since the 70s, yes, it's directly coincides with the federal government stepping in and handing out loans and grants. The colleges started running like a business. That's why Harvard and Yale and all these other schools have multi-billion-dollar endowments. So and your state schools and community colleges, everybody's running things like a business now. And if they have the opportunity to start squeezing money from things, especially the federal government, they all learned how to do it. And they all like, hell, ain't nobody stopping us, so let's go ahead and bum rush the door. So what he just said, believe it or not, is actually the correct answer.
So that is what you would do.
Yeah, that's
we're
what I would
asking
do.
what
Any
you
college,
would do.
Well, any college that raise their costs, I get rid of any federal funding that they're going to get.
Thank you.
You know,
We're moving on.
I find it interesting that folks are
Senator
offended
Warnock,
by...
Senator Warnock,
yes.
I'm going to give you this one. I'm going to
Thank
give you a
you.
pass for 15 seconds.
I will be very brief.
Oh, hell, the Pink Panther went gangster up in there, didn't she? Sir, Mr. Warnock, okay, I'm going to give you a hall pass. I'm going to give you a pass just this once. Man, let me tell you, she is the most gangster moderator up in there. We need more just like her. We need more. We need to bring her to the presidential debate. She made it very clear. Look here, don't make me take this shoe off.
It's interesting to me that...
Give you a pass for 15 seconds.
Going to get.
Thank you.
You know,
We're moving on.
I find it interesting that folks are
Senator
offended
Warnock,
by...
Senator Warnock,
yes.
I'm going to give you this one. I'm going to give you a pass for 15 seconds.
I will be very brief, I promise.
Very brief.
It's interesting to me that folks who have been crying about the student debt relief haven't said anything about multi-billionaire corporate entities who've gotten PPP loans. I wonder why Mr.
What the hell? Y'all, you thought Warnock wasn't suffering from any type of mental dementia. Now he's just saying random stuff. What the hell? I don't care how big of a Democrat supporter you are. Now Warnock is sitting up here babbling, debate babbling. The dementia debate is in full damn swing. He's just saying random garbage now. What the hell?
We're going to move on. We're moving on. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
The moderator just said, look here, I don't know what this nigga talking about. We just moving on. We're just going on here. Look, they asked me to moderate the debate. I didn't say it was going to be coherent. We just moving on now. Whatever.
He got a PPP
your
loan
time
as
is
well.
up. Mr. Walker, we are moving on.
Yes, your
We're going to
church
move
got
on to
one,
minimum
see?
wage, gentlemen. We have
Yes.
a lot to get through
Yes.
tonight. We've made that clear at the top of the hour.
Yes.
So let's get as many questions as we can in, because Georgia voters want to know where you stand on these issues. They have to make a decision. Let them know tonight. Buck?
Thank you, Tina. Now, according to the U.S. Census Bureau,
Boy, ain't she nice, sweet, and gangster with it? Okay.
14% of Georgians live in poverty. The federal minimum wage is
It's more than that, but go ahead.
$7.25 an hour, a number that has not increased since 2009. Let's do this by a simple showing of hands. Raise your hand if you support a federal minimum wage. Okay, Mr. Walker, you did not raise your hand, so I'd like to ask you, first of all,
Neither did Warnock. Did I miss something? Let me go back here and check one more time.
if you support a federal minimum wage.
Okay, nobody raised their hand.
Mr. Walker, you did not raise your hand, so I'd like to ask you, first of all, why not, and what would you do to help struggling Georgians?
Well, when you say a federal, I think right now, and he said that I want the federal government. No, he wants the federal government to run your life. Right now, I think you have to work with different corporations and see just where they can pay. There are some companies right now, and he should know this, after getting the All-Star game moved out of Atlanta, they destroyed a lot of small businesses. So those small businesses couldn't pay $15, $20 an hour. So they have
Oh, to that fella who was on Roland Martin's program talking about the damn WNBA put Warnock on the map. He moved the All-Star game and closed a lot of small businesses. So, wonder how well that's going to go over.
to pay what they're capable of paying. So to mandate a federal fee that they have to pay hourly wage, no, I couldn't approve that.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Senator Warnock.
Boy, didn't he sound so pathetic? So no, I couldn't. I shouldn't approve that.
Federal fee that they have to pay hourly wage. No, I couldn't approve that.
Boy, don't he look so pathetic? Herschel is forgetting where he's at. I couldn't approve that, and I believe people should wear shoes. I really do. Is it Tuesday?
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Senator Warnock, you did not raise your hand, so why not, and what would you do to help struggling Georgians?
I believe in the dignity of work, and I believe in the dignity of workers. I watched my dad work really hard to take care of his family, and I've seen what we call essential workers, these folks who are on the front line, stand up for us in the midst of the pandemic. We call them essential workers. They deserve an essential wage and essential benefits. In other words, workers deserve to participate in the prosperity that they are creating for others. And so I've been a part of this conversation around the minimum wage. I think people need a livable wage. And some of that is being addressed right now in this strong labor market. So I'm willing to work with folks in the corporate community as well as the labor community to figure out how we get to a good place. But there's no question people deserve to participate in the prosperity that they're creating for others. They deserve a livable wage, and they deserve benefits.
So he didn't raise his hand when the man asked, do you support a federal minimum wage? He goes on this meandering screed where he does not answer a question. This man doesn't answer anything. Doesn't this sound like the Democrats' WikiLeaks? Tell people you understand. Folks, I'm not kidding. Doesn't this sound just like the Democrats' WikiLeaks? Tell people you understand. Tell people you empathize. Tell people that you sure do feel their pain, but don't answer any specific questions. Leave it open to interpretation so that the dunderheads can sit up here and not know what you said. And hopefully Roland Martin and Tiffany Cross can show up tomorrow morning and try to clean this crap up for you and hope that people didn't actually listen to the debate. This man isn't answering any questions on anything.
Participate in the prosperity that they're creating for others. They deserve a livable wage, and they deserve benefits.
Thank you, Senator Warnock. We're going to move to our next topic. Tina?
And that topic is crime and violence. In June, Congress passed the first bipartisan legislation to combat gun violence in 30 years. According to a Pew Research poll released in July, 78% of Americans think the new gun law will do little or nothing to reduce gun violence. Senator Warnock, I turn to you first. As the number of shootings in Georgia and across the nation continue to rise, what should be done? What should the next step be to solve this issue? You have to...
So glad to see a woman who ain't got a damn weave sitting on top of that head. She went to the stylist. I want all the young females out there, if you want to know what a good head of hair looks like, there it is right there. Stop being lazy with that musty stuff on there. Get you a stylist so you can actually look nice for a change. I'm just saying.
Answer this question, sir, and I give you 1 minute.
Well, I'm glad that we finally passed the first gun safety law in 30 years. And we did that on a bipartisan basis. I believe that this law will indeed save lives, and I'd like to see us work and see what we can achieve beyond that on a bipartisan basis. My heart goes out when I see the kinds of tragedies that we're witnessing all across our state, all across our country, and it's the reason why I have passed legislation to support law enforcement. I passed the largest investment in the COPS program in a decade. I introduced legislation called Invest to Protect that's endorsed by the sheriffs of Burke County and Scriven County because it supports some of our smaller law enforcement entities. So we've got to stand up with law enforcement, but we've also got to create opportunity.
Senator Warnock, thank you. Mr. Walker, we're posing the same question to you, sir. In 1 minute, what should the next step be to solve gun violence?
Well, first of all,
Okay, so Warnock let you know I support the police. So, all right, he answered that question, didn't he? Did you notice he answered that question? He sure did answer that one. Okay, we finally got a straight answer out of him. Oh, I support the police.
So we got to stand up with law enforcement, but we've also got to create opportunity.
Okay, I support the police. Finally, a straight question with a straight answer.
Senator Warnock, thank you. Mr. Walker, we're posing the same question to you, sir. In 1 minute, what should the next step be to solve gun violence?
Well, first of all, any law or bill passed that will affect anyone's Second Amendment, I'm not going to stand for and I won't support. But third, to hear Senator Warnock talks about supporting law enforcement is sad because he's called them names. And because of the name calling he's done, the morale is down, recruitment is down, only because of what he's done. He's empowered criminals to think they're better than the police. And because he believes in no cash bail, in releasing prisoners, he don't protect the border. Fentanyl is coming to this country and also into Atlanta. 70% of the drugs coming from the border goes to Atlanta, Georgia. And he talks about the police.
Okay, got to fact check that one.
I have more sheriffs that has endorsed me than anyone running in Georgia right now. And I even have some sheriffs here, and they've endorsed me because they know I have their back, they're going to have my backs. So to listen to him say that after...
I'm going to have their bike, they going to have my bike. What the hell debate is this? I'm from Louisiana. We're more articulate than this in Louisiana. I've been in Louisiana my whole life. We're more articulate than this in Louisiana. What the hell happened to Georgia?
I have more sheriffs that has endorsed me than anyone running in Georgia right now. And I even have some sheriffs here, and they've endorsed me because they know I have their back, they're going to have my backs. So to listen to him say that after calling them name, I think is a disgrace.
They gonna have my bike, I'm gonna have their bike, and we gonna ding dong down the street here. Y'all, okay. Jason, did you listen to the debate? Yes, I did. I knew this was all right. Okay, he got their bike, they got his bike.
Mr. Walker, thank you. I have a follow-up now for both of you.
I think I ought to be able to respond to that.
I will give you the opportunity, 15 seconds to respond, Senator Warnock.
We will see time and time again tonight, as we've already seen, that my opponent has a problem with the truth. And just because...
And you have a problem with answering a question.
He said something doesn't mean it's true. I have supported our police officers. I've called them and I've prayed with their families, like those officers lost in Cobb County when they were killed, doing what police officers routinely do. You can support police officers, as I've done, through the COPS program, through the Invest to Protect program, while at the same time holding police officers, like all professions, accountable. One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened
Herschel, don't
a
do it.
shootout with the police.
Herschel, don't do it.
Now I have to respond to that.
Herschel, don't do it.
I have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am many police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker.
No.
Shootout.
Y'all, Herschel had a full-blown schizoembolism.
I have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am with many.
Brothers and sisters from around the world, I know we've been long, but I got to do this. I think I can make it now. I think I can make it now. Boy, I had to take a minute. Herschel, what the hell? I know your head has been through a lot, Herschel. I get it. One of his handlers should have run out on the stage when you saw him reaching into his suit coat. One of his people should have run out there and tackled his ass. Why? Why did y'all let him do this? You saw him reaching into his suit coat like an assassin reaching for a weapon. Why didn't somebody run out there and tackle him? Boy, look here. I had to hit the Pepto for a minute. I'm like, am I really seeing this? Is this just when you thought the debate couldn't get any more insane? Just when you thought it couldn't possibly get any crazier? Warnock stumbling and bumbling and running against men. Herschel Walker is bringing out his Cracker Jack Sheriff Star. Well, you know, since you should know that actually I do run around with law enforcement from time to time. So you see, I got a little star right here. Everybody, y'all want to see it? Here, my little star here, right here. You good? I got this with my Captain Planet. Back in the day, Andy Griffith was giving these out back in the day when they had the offer with Cheerios.
I am with many police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker, excuse me, Mr. Walker, please, out of respect, I need to let you know, Mr. Walker, you are very well aware of the rules tonight.
Yes.
And you have a prop.
Yes.
That is not allowed, sir. Yes. I ask you to put that prop away.
Well, it's not a prop. This is real. And he said, I have a problem. I never worked with law enforcement.
It is considered a prop, Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You're very well aware of the rules, aren't you?
Well,
aren't you aware of the rules?
He brought up the truth. Let's talk about.
Boy, y'all, now she talking to him like a teacher. She's scolding him now. So for those of you who might not have been aware he did this, I hope this adds some context to it, because she is saying, actually, you're not supposed to be using any props, and using that is a prop. So now she's starting to scold him like a child. So it's Herschel. I know his people are like, Herschel. I told you all at the beginning of the program, Herschel, less is more. Less is more, Herschel. Less is more. I wish I could tell you all that this was the worst you gonna see so far. I wish I could tell you that, but no, it is not. Folks, you haven't seen the worst part yet. I wish I could tell you that this was as bad as it was gonna get. Folks, it gets worse. We've been easy so far, believe it or not, it gets worse. And actually, in the next segment that they're getting ready to go to, it gets even worse. I gotta take a break. I gotta take a non-commercial break. When we come back, the worst part of the debate is coming up. The clown car isn't empty yet. I sat down and watched this debate so you can see it for yourselves. Folks, we about to skid off the damn rails. Practically, literally, we're about to skid off the rails. So I want you to go ahead, strap in, hang on tight, because we're getting ready to go for the ride here. Before we do, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. So Chadwick, Mr. Richburg, Mark B, Brenda Starr, over here in the Super Chat here. Thank you to everybody who's contributed to the program over there. We appreciate that as well. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, hang on tight. This is the Black Channel.
Are you tired of being overcharged and forced into paying a monthly subscription for your Mac and Windows software? Well, if you are, currently we're having a 50% off discount on all the latest Mac and Windows software, such as AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Photoshop, Microsoft Office, and much more. Our 50% off discount will be ending soon, so be sure to text us NEED SOFTWARE to 323-407-8214. That's 323-407-8214. We aim to please, so expect 24/7 technical support, the latest premium software, instant software links delivered to your email, and PayPal's buyer's protection guarantee.
When you need a reliable influx of capital to grow your business, Spectre Capital Finance provides fast, individualized working capital loans with lines of credit to take your business to the next level. SpectreCapitalFinance.com.
Hey, I'm Marcus. For a while, I walked around with this empty feeling inside. I had a full-time job, but not in the field I wanted to be in. But then I came across this book where it was like, the title was just for me. Guide to Being Black in IT. I read the book and the author took me through scenarios and gave me tips. I sat down and read it and it only took an hour. After I got done, I took advice in the book, practiced in the labs, and got certified. Then I literally got up and applied for a position with this company I've been looking at for a while and got the job. Thanks to that book, I worked my job with confidence. If you're looking to get into IT or even in the field, now this is a must-read book. Go to www.beingblackInIT.com.
I am black first. I am empowered. I am on code. I am motivated. I am a proud foundational. My name is Maria Sellers, and nothing will come between us. Buy the sci-fi novel, Nothing Will Come Between Us. Order today at Amazon and Google Play. Visit spiritofo1811publishing.com. Our story, our family.
Join 6zeros.net, a forum built to discuss all things relevant to black people. On our forum, a check doesn't mean you're famous. It means your blackness has been verified by our staff. Sorry, Chad. We also have premium merchandise with same-day shipping on most orders. And when you're ready for some dope content, check out the 0 Hour blog. Don't just sign up, post. I'm having a really good time with you tonight.
I'm having a good time with you too.
Want to go somewhere private? Just for us?
I like that.
Great. Meet me at 6zeros.net. Black owned, black operated.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening here. Big shout out here to Grind Time, Andrea Roberson, JD Burn Rubber, and everybody else who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. Thank you very much for your support here, and hang the hell on. Just when you thought that this was the craziest, most demented, most insane debate in America that you ever could have witnessed, just when you thought you had seen it all, just when you thought that the mental dysphoria had become as frightening as it possibly could be, I want to tell y'all right now, you ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to hear something in this debate that I, in my almost 5 decades of walking this earth, have never heard before. Never heard this. Hope I never hear it again. And maybe it is necessary for somebody to say it, but the very fact that it had to come up as a topic of discussion is frightening enough. So hang the hell on. Here we go.
The truth.
Thank you for putting that
Yes.
prop away. And as a matter of fact, we still have a lot to get to, and we are not going to continue this. We're going to follow up with a question, and this is according to the CDC. Homicide is the leading cause of death for African American youth. Mr. Walker, in 30 seconds, why do you believe this is happening, and what would you do to stop it?
Well, what I would do is hold people accountable, which is Senator Warnock not doing. Believing in no cash bail, no accountability, that is a problem. People must be accountable for their action. And the truth lies with Senator Warnock, because he said he was going to Washington to represent Georgia. He went to Washington to represent Joe Biden. That's the reason we're in the mess we're in today, because he represents Joe Biden and not the truth for Georgia.
Senator Warnock, this follow-up for you. Same question. What do you believe homicides among African American youth is growing? Why are those homicides growing, sir? And how do we stop it?
Well, don't ask Raphael Warnock that. He's going to be like, well, look here, I tried to abort as many of them bastards as I could. I told you, abort them on demand. Can't you see these hoes can't raise these kids? I tried to do everything I could. Don't blame me. I told you to abort them. I told you don't give birth to that little bastard. No damn way. What you expect me to do? I gave you abortion on demand. I'll be damned. You can get an abortion out at every snow cone stand in the state of Georgia. What do you expect to do about it? I told you, abort them. Told you what to do. You ain't listening to me.
Why are those homicides growing, sir? And how do we stop it?
Well, it's heartbreaking. And I've seen this up close as a pastor. I've presided over some of these funerals. I've met with young people. And we have to have rules and laws in the society, which I support and I've invested in as a legislator. At the same time, we have to create opportunity. There's no sickness like the loss of hope. When people lose hope, when they doubt that their life can be any longer or that they can dream of something bigger than the street they live on, a lot of things can happen. I grew up in one of those neighborhoods, but I had a nurturing family, and I benefited from good federal public policy.
Federal public policy has been to invite over as many illegal aliens from places where they have these corrupted alternative cultural value systems all over the place. Atlanta has become a hotbed of that now. So federal policy has done that, sir. But Raphael Warnock doesn't care, because lames like him, he doesn't care what country she smuggled herself in from, so long as he's got access to her and an abortion clinic to make sure the baby don't stick around. He's cool.
Like the Head Start program, like Upward Bound, like Pell Grants and low-interest student loans. And to invest in our children is to invest in our best resource.
Senator Warnock, thank you.
Who is ringing that bell? Is Tina ringing that bell? The moderator in pink, is she? Because she ain't hitting it. She's bamming that damn thing. I don't know if it's her, if it's somebody else, but I'll be damned. Sounds like we're at the state carnival when you hit that bell with the sledgehammer to see if you can get to go to the top. Wow. I didn't augment the sound on it, everybody. Somebody is bamming that damn bell. I guess they like, look here, CTE or not, you gonna hear this. Ding!
We are moving on, gentlemen, to the next question, and this topic is about personal integrity. Buck?
We're going to shift gears a little bit here. Senator Warnock, in 2020, you tweeted this: unemployment benefits have expired, rent is due, and many Georgia families are at risk of eviction. My opponents are supposed to be serving the people in Washington, but they are clearly concerned with their own interests. Well, recent published reports talk about a property that your church owns, Columbia Towers at MLK Village in Atlanta. It's a home for the disadvantaged. At least a dozen lawsuits have been filed by residents evicted for not being able to pay their rent. Some of the outstanding balances are less than $30. As someone who receives more than $7,000 a month for a housing allowance from Ebenezer Baptist Church, how do you explain this to Georgia voters who are struggling currently to make ends meet?
Well, let me say that serving in the United States Senate and continuing to serve my church.
Oh, hell, y'all. Now, they just asked him a question Boy, I'm telling you, the black woman was going easy. The white moderator is throwing body blows. I want to back it up so you can hear him again. Warnock is like, hey, wait a minute now.
But they are clearly concerned with their own interests. Well, recent published reports talk about a property that your church owns, Columbia Towers at MLK Village in Atlanta. It's a home for the disadvantaged. At least
MLK Village, so you know it's going down.
Recent published reports talk about a property that your church owns, Columbia Towers at MLK Village in Atlanta. It's a home for the disadvantaged. At least a dozen lawsuits have been filed by residents evicted for not being able to pay their rent. Some of the outstanding balances are less than $30. As someone who receives more than $7,000 a month for a housing allowance from Ebenezer Baptist Church, how do you explain this to Georgia voters who are struggling currently to make ends meet?
So he gets $7,000 from the church. They're evicting some of these pro-abortion female constituents who owe $30. They like, look here, $30, you got to break all my bread. Black folk might not get reparations, but that $30, look here, it ain't going in your gas tank. You got to break all my bread. $30 or your ass is out. This, boy, I'm telling you, so you can get an abortion, but you ain't got a place to live if Warnock got anything to say. Now, see whether or not he addresses this directly or if he sidesteps it yet again.
Ebenezer Baptist Church, how do you explain this to Georgia voters who are struggling currently to make ends meet?
Well, let me say that serving in the United States Senate and continuing to serve my church is the honor of my life. And it gives me a lens through which to do the work that I'm doing. But here's why you know I'm running against a desperate candidate. Anytime a candidate would stoop to the level of trying to sully the name, he and his allies, to sully the name of Martin Luther King Jr.'s church and John Lewis's church, you know that's a desperate candidate.
Now, he ain't said nothing about the people he evicted. He said nothing about evicting people who owe $30. He ain't said a word about that. He sidestepped that and said, well, you know, I mean, sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make a Cadillac. So yeah, here you can have your abortion along with this eviction notice. I support a woman's right to choose. I just don't support her right to choose to live here. That's the difference.
Let me tell you about my church. My church is a Matthew 25 church. We spend
Matthew 25. Matthew 25. I'm trying to figure out what in the world he's talking about here because I'm trying to figure out what in the world he's referring to, y'all. We are a Matthew 25 church. I'm trying to figure out the 25th chapter of Matthew. Does it say evict all the little folks? For $30, if they owe more than $20, evict them? I'm trying to figure that out. If they owe more than $20, evict them. Is that the Matthew he was reading? Is that the one he's looking at? If they owe it, evict them here. Which Matthew is he talking about, y'all? I don't think he knows what he means.
Every day feeding the hungry and the homeless. A desperate candidate. Let me tell you about my church. My church is a Matthew 25 church. We spend every week, every day feeding the hungry and the homeless.
Okay, he just had another Herschel Walker moment. Folks, he just said, we spend every day feeding the helpless and the homeless.
My church is a Matthew 25 church. We spend every week, every day feeding the hungry and the homeless.
We spend every day feeding the hungry and the homeless. And you should, because some of those homeless people you made homeless because you evicted them for owing $20 damn, for owing $30. So yeah, he's patting himself on the back on stage. You know, we feed the hungry. Y'all notice how he stumbled? That's that psychological conflict again. He knew what he was saying. When he said the homeless, he knew that he was indicting himself. So psychologically, he paused for a second before he said homeless.
My church is a Matthew 25 church. We spend every week, every day feeding the hungry and the homeless.
Notice how he did that slight pause. Psychologically, he understood what he was saying. He's like, I'll be damned. The homeless, well, yeah, we making them homeless. So psychologically, I want y'all to understand, this is a shameless, feckless liar who knows every time he's not even a good liar. He didn't even know to sit up here and just say, every day we feed the hungry. He sit up here and said, the hungry and the homeless. Never mind the fact you made them homeless. Never mind that. Did Matthew 25 say that? Spare the rod and bring me the Rolls Royce?
They know that those false charges that they've created are not true. We stand up for poor people every single day, and I ran for the Senate to do at a policy level what we do at a local level every single day. I'm not going to be distracted by him and his allies. My people know the truth. They know the work we do every single day, and I couldn't be prouder of them.
Yeah, they know the work y'all do every day because some of them got to hand out the eviction notices. Well, you know, Sister Willis, now, if we don't get that $15 this month, you're going to get some late fees, and then we got to boot your ass out. So I suggest you get one of them niggas who running up over here to throw you some extra dollars because you getting real close to us evicting you now. So yeah, they know what they do. This is what y'all do. This is the church hustle. This is the church hustle. This is why when you see Warnock sitting out here, and, well, you know, I want to make sure y'all all understand now, just you get together with me and we're going to hold an abortion rally over here. I trust the women. He just doesn't trust the women to pay the rent.
Proud to represent the Senate and proud to serve Ebenezer.
Okay, I'm taking a look down here at the bottom of the screen. I see Tina. Did I see her hand move, or was it somebody else's? I didn't see her hand move, I don't think.
And I couldn't be prouder of them. Proud to represent the Senate.
Okay, that damn bell ringer is trying to earn every penny of their little volunteer paycheck tonight. Damn.
And proud to serve Ebenezer Baptist Church.
So just to clarify, your position is that...
Man, look here now. Okay, I got to call this out. The white dude, the white debate moderator is giving Warnock the business, isn't he? He keeps following up. Well, just to follow up on it, he ain't followed up a damn thing with Herschel Walker. And maybe that's for the best for us. Tina ain't doing that. The white dude is doing the most over here, isn't he? Who the hell does he work for? Karl Rove? The white dude sure is doing the damn most with this follow-up thing. Every time Warnock says something, he keeps coming back. Well, just to follow up on that, I'll be damned. Who do you work for? Fox News, sir?
Attracted by him and his allies. My people know the truth. They know the work we do every single day, and I couldn't be prouder of them. Proud to represent the Senate and proud to serve Ebenezer Baptist Church.
So just to clarify, your position is that the allegations in these lawsuits are not true?
I am saying that it is very obvious that my opponent and his allies are busy trying to sully.
Wow. Look, y'all, the white fella knows what he's doing. The white dude is like, oh, I ain't letting you slide on nothing. So your position is these allegations are untrue? My position is it really is sleazy that Herschel and them would bring this up during this election, brother. Look here, I didn't even say nothing about your damn CTE, Herschel. I ain't said nothing about it. Why you got to pocket watch on me, man? I'm running my church hustle over here. I ain't even did you like that, Herschel, okay? So I think, brother to brother, it really is kind of sleazy that you would be doing this. So you're saying it's not true. I'm saying it's not legit, is what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not honorable. I'm saying that's what I'm saying, okay? I'm saying it's not legit that you would bring this up. But you're not saying it's not true. It ain't cool. I'm telling you it's not cool that you bringing this up. Okay, but you won't say it's not true. It's not cool. Next question.
Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Did you hear the audience?
Are busy trying to sully.
Did you all hear the audience when he said that? Even the chicks in the audience from Magic City started moaning when he said that. Listen.
Your position is that the allegations in these lawsuits are not true?
I am saying that it is very obvious that my opponent and his allies are busy trying to sully Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Now you see the problem with the truth.
Switching gears a little bit here, sir.
I mean, man, okay. So the white dude's one of the local newscasters. That's great. I mean, I figure they all are. Boy, he ain't giving Warnock a minute to breathe. Every time he has a chance to point that out, he's making Warnock sit up here and acknowledge how foul he is. I bet you Warnock is wishing. I bet you Warnock is wishing they had gotten a different moderator this damn. Can we get another black woman up here? Can we do that? Can we get one who's wearing purple this time, and we get one in pink and one in purple? I'll be good. But this white dude got to go.
Lawsuits are not true.
I am saying that it is very obvious that my opponent and his allies are busy trying to sully Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Now you see the problem with the truth.
Switching gears a little bit here, sir. Your ex-wife filed a lawsuit asking for increased.
Boy, y'all notice Warnock didn't say nothing after that. When Herschel Walker said that, now you see his problem with the truth. You notice Warnock shut the hell up then, didn't he? He's like, if I don't make it back to the Senate or not, I'm still coming back here to get my bread, cash my check, and toss these hoes out my apartments if they ain't paying. Notice he didn't try to follow up this time. I need to respond to what he just said. Warnock is like, yeah, let's move on to the next question, please. Let's go.
His allies are busy trying to sully Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Now you see the problem with the truth.
Switching gears a little bit here, sir. Your ex-wife filed a lawsuit asking for increased child support, saying that she had to pay for child care on days that your duties as a senator interfered with your parenting time, and citing significant increases in your income.
No wonder he loves abortion so much. Okay.
Citing significant increases in your income. In 30 seconds, what is your response to that lawsuit?
Listen, I went through a divorce, like a lot of people. And while that was a painful period, what came out of that was two amazing children that I just talked to before I came on this stage.
And he told them, y'all better shut the hell up. Don't get on Twitter, Instagram, and none of that bull jive, or your ass is out the will. I ain't playing with you.
Period. What came out of that was two amazing children that I just talked to before I came on this stage. And my children know that I am with them and for them, and that I support them in every single way that a father does.
Thank you, Senator Warnock. Now to you, Mr. Walker.
He didn't answer the question, y'all. Once again, he didn't answer the question.
Ads have highlighted allegations of past domestic violence. They've raised questions about how transparent you've been as far as your resume. In 1 minute, how do you respond to voters who question your integrity, both personally and professionally?
First of all, I've been very transparent.
Herschel, the glasses. I guess he's figuring, hey, you can't hit a man with glasses now. You can't hit me with no hard-ass questions, Buck. You can't hit a man with glasses. Don't you see I'm wearing these glasses over here?
To voters who question your integrity, both personally and professionally.
First of all, I've been very transparent, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. And I say I had a mental problem, and I'll be a champion for mental health, because so many people suffer from mental health. But to have people like Senator Warnock that demonize mental health, when I want to tell everyone out there, you can get help. Don't listen to Senator Warnock and his people. You can get help. All you got to do is ask. All you got to do is ask. But the problem with the truth, you just saw it. You just saw it, because he won't answer that about evicting the people from the church. And I told him I will pay their. I'll pay their.
Herschel. He's not evicting people from the church. Nobody lives at a church. I'm going out on a limb right now. These are like apartments, because you got churches with this apartment hustle. In my hometown of Shreveport, we got a bunch of them there too. That's the new hustle. Or that's an old hustle. It's not even new. This is an old ass hustle. Herschel, he's not evicting anybody from the church. There's no one living at the church who's getting an eviction notice. Nobody is sleeping on the pews at night or upstairs, Herschel. You're killing your own point. You were about to make an excellent point, and you just mangled it with your inability to construct a sentence, Herschel. That's what I'm saying. If Warnock beats you, it'll be because the constituency couldn't decipher what the hell you were trying to say.
Right. You just saw it because he won't answer that about evicting the people from the church. And I told him I'll pay their salary. You're evicting them, right?
Okay, folks, I will pay their salary. Folks, I'll pay their, folks, oh, I can't make it. I'm not gonna make it. Folks, oh man, and I'm trying to make it. I told y'all that it gets worse. I told you, I warned you it gets worse. This is what I was talking about. You know, when he don't want to talk about evicting the people from the church, and I said I would pay their salary. You meant you would pay the rent. You meant you would pay their rent. You meant you would pay their rent. That's what you meant to say, sir. You meant to say you would pay their rent. Tenants don't get a salary. Warnock gets a salary, sir. Y'all, I'm still recovering from COVID. I'm having some upper respiratory issues. Herschel is wearing me the hell out tonight. I'm not even supposed to be yelling. I'm under all kinds of doctor's orders. I'm not even supposed to be getting this excited. But Herschel is wearing me the hell out. I'm trying to hang in there. Herschel won't let me.
You can get help. All you got to do is ask. All you got to do is ask. But the problem with the truth, you just saw it. You just saw it because he won't answer that about evicting the people from the church. And I told him I'll pay their salary. You're evicting them right now during these hard times.
We have not evicted. We have not evicted those tenants.
I didn't write the article.
I didn't
write the article. And most of the people.
Okay, even with him fumbling this and mangling it like he did, the audience was still laughing when he made his punchline. Warnock is weak on this subject. Warnock is incompetent. Warnock knows he cannot defend himself even against half-baked Herschel Walker. You just got your ass clubbed by Herschel Walker, who can't even formulate the sentence and the argument against you with coherence. Herschel couldn't even articulate the argument properly, and you still got beat down. Who the hell loses to an inarticulate baboon like Herschel?
Let me my time.
I'm okay with the discussion if we start talking over each other.
We have not evicted the tenants,
speak, Senator.
And he should take that money and pay it back to the veterans that he exploited while pretending to run
too. And see, you can tell that he's not desperate, because if he had read in that thing, he would have saw that I had nothing to do with that. But he is so desperate right now, and he really wants that seat. He's now telling you, I didn't evict anyone. It is written in the paper. I didn't do this. Well, Senator, you did. And it's okay to speak the truth. Do not bear false witness, Senator. Do not bear false witness.
Mr. Walker.
Man, look here. Now, how the hell did you let Herschel Walker sidestep and double down your ass? How did you allow that to happen? You just let Herschel Walker outmaneuver you like Jordan did Michael Bird, and Herschel doesn't even know what he's on that stage for. He thinks he's on that stage to pay the salary of people getting evicted from the church. And he was still able to club you like a baby seal in Alaska. And he doesn't even know why he's there. How the hell did you get outmaneuvered and get your ass blown out by Herschel Walker, who can't even articulate the sentences correctly? We don't even know what he's saying you did or didn't do, and you just got beat? What the hell? And this was the candidates the Democrats sent. Aren't you all glad I listened to the debate for you, by the way? This is the candidate the Democrats sent.
keep this moving, I want to follow up with you. You have been very open on your, Mr. Senator Warnock, we need to move forward here. You have been very open about your struggles with mental illness, and you even wrote a book about your diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder. We recently asked if you were still receiving treatment, and this is what you had to say.
No, that's all done, and you don't need to, and that's why I tell people. I think one thing I told people is I've been open about it, and I was open about it, 14 years ago.
Mr. Walker, in 30 seconds, can you clarify this? Are you saying you no longer have dissociative identity disorder, or is this something that you continue to this day to manage?
No, you don't have to have treatment for it. And I encourage people to continue to talk to people. I talk to my pastors.
Okay, so Warnock tells the pregnant women to talk to their pastor. Herschel Walker is saying if you've got dissociative identity disorder, talk to your pastor. Ain't nobody talking to a doctor. Nobody's talking to their family. Everybody's lined up at the damn pastor's office in Georgia. Okay, even if I was going to line people up at the pastor's office, it wouldn't be Georgia I'd do it in. It'd be Mississippi, Louisiana, maybe Arkansas, possibly Texas. Not Georgia. I wouldn't go there. Folks, I'm going to let him finish this sentence, but I want to clarify something here.
And I continue to get help if I need help, but I don't need any help. I'm doing well to talk to people. I talk to my pastors. And I continue to get help if I need help, but I don't need any help. I'm doing well. But that's the reason why I tell anyone out there that is suffering from any type of mental illness, you can get help. All you got to do is ask. And
I don't need no help. I got help, but I don't need no help. Folks, for those of you who may not be familiar with this or may not quite understand it, let me go ahead here and illuminate you from the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can read that. When those people talk about dissociative identity disorder today, this is like the LGBT phrases and terms we used to use. Dissociative identity disorder is what the mental health profession used to, and most of you identify as multiple personality disorder. Formerly known as multiple personality disorder, this disorder is characterized by alternating between multiple identities. A person may feel like one or more voices are trying to take control in their heads. I don't know. Maybe there was one boy. Well, Herschel, it's salary. No, it's not. It's rent. No, it's not. It's a subsidy. Herschel, no, they're living at the church. No, they're living under the church. They're living above the church. They're living behind the church, Herschel. No, they're not. They're in the church. He's a pastor, Herschel. Obviously, they live in the church. And he's getting paid $7,000, and it's coming from them. So his salary is their salary. Understand now, Herschel? Yes, I do get it all. I can explain it properly now. When you was evicting them from the church, and I told you I would pay their salary. Okay, I'm not trying to mock anybody. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone in that regard. What I am saying is I'm trying to put this in stark relief for you to understand. Multiple personality disorder, characterized by you may feel that one or more voices are trying to take control in your head. It goes on to say, often these identities may have unique names, characteristics, mannerisms, and voices. People with dissociative identity disorder will experience gaps in memory of everyday events. Clearly, he's shown that. Personal information and trauma. Women are more likely to be diagnosed. Should we be allowing so many abortions? As they more frequently present with acute dissociative symptoms. Fellas, this explains a hell of a whole lot for a lot of us out there now, doesn't it? All right, I ain't gonna beat up on anybody, but this sure as hell explains a hell of a whole lot for a lot of people, doesn't it? Men are more likely to deny symptoms and trauma histories and commonly exhibit more violent behavior rather than amnesia or fugue states. This can lead to elevated false negative diagnosis. So this is the dementia debate. I wasn't joking when I said that. This is the dementia debate. You have Norman Bates running for the Senate in Georgia. And when I told you all that it gets worse, you thought I was being hyperbolic. You thought I was just sitting up here trying to string you along. No, I meant what I said. It gets worse. It gets worse. What is that movie from M. Night Shyamalan? Glass. Remember that one? The one with James McAvoy, the Beast? I'm just saying, folks. I'm just saying. You got the Beast or Norman Bates or whatever going. You got Glass running for office in Georgia. And what did he tell you?
That's the reason why I tell anyone out there that is suffering from any type of mental illness, you can get help. All you got to do is ask. And I will always be a champion for men to talk to people.
Walker, in 30 seconds.
You don't have to have treatment for it. And I encourage people to continue to talk to people. I talk to my pastors. And I continue to get help if I need help. But I don't need any help.
Well, I got multiple personality disorder, but I talk to my pastor, one of Reverend Warnock's friends. I mean, if he can tell you that a baby can be aborted, then how the hell you gonna tell me that my multiple personalities ain't being quiet? That I can't keep them quiet. So, yes, I talk to my pastors just like them chicks from Magic City talk to Reverend Warnock, and I'm good. Y'all need to set, if this is what the churches of Georgia are producing, you need to outlaw the churches in Georgia. And I'm talking about the whole damn state. If this is what the churches of Georgia are creating, it's time to abolish the churches in Georgia. You'll be better off setting up a Chick-fil-A.
I'm doing well, but that's the reason why I tell anyone out there that is suffering from any type of mental illness, you can get help. All you got to do is ask. And I will always be a champion for mental health.
And just to clarify, how can Georgia voters, though, be assured that this will not impact your ability to lead if elected?
Because I'm ready to lead today.
Which voice is telling you that? How do the voters know that you are ready? Because the third voice just told me, Herschel, you ready? Which voice told you that you're ready, sir? See, that was an unfair question to ask. You can't ask that question. All he does is consult whichever voice gives him the answer he wants to hear. That's not a fair question to ask. What the hell? Who's asking these questions? He was doing better off with Warnock. You were doing better off with Warnock. You were doing better off following up with him, sir. Knock it off. Knock it off. Now, I want you all to understand something right now. Joe Biden, President of the United States, John Fetterman, running for Senate in Pennsylvania. He's had a stroke. He now needs to have a computer to translate the things that he hears and then to tell him what to say in response. Now Herschel Walker. People, when I was a child, there were rumors that Ronald Wilson Reagan, President of the United States, was too mentally incapacitated to serve as president. That was a rumor. We ain't got rumors anymore. We've got people who are supposed to be on medication, supposed to be in therapy, supposed to be in a rubber room, and they run the damn country. They can't even repeat back to you the sentence that was just said to them. They can't even repeat back to you the sentence that was just said to them. Here, let me be in charge of your gas prices, your job, abortion, crime. inflation. Let me be in charge of all of that. Let me be in charge of all of that now. Don't worry. Folks, this has officially gotten frightening. This has officially gotten terrifying. This has officially gotten scary. Everywhere you go now, it's a choice between crazy and crazier, and I'm not even being hyperbolic. It's a choice, but if you call that a damn choice, would you like the lunatic on the left or the mental patient on the right? Let me think this over for a moment. I need a minute to think. Have you all considered how scary it is that John Fetterman, if he wins this, he's running against Dr. Oz? Oh my God. So on the one hand, you've got this trust fund baby who used to run, who was chasing a black person in a car with a gun, by the way. That Fetterman guy is a work of art too. He should have been an indictee in the Ahmaud Arbery case when you think about it. But in any case, so you have a choice between him, who's had a stroke and cannot read or understand language anymore, and Dr. Oz, one of Oprah's damn gurus. Stop the world and let me off. Hey, Elon Musk, I think I'll take one of your rockets to Mars now. I'll just make it on my own. I'll take my damn chances. It's getting too crazy down here, my dude. It's getting too crazy. Here, let me just take the rocket. I'll figure out how to steer it when I get up there. It's getting too crazy up here right now. It's getting too crazy down here. I got to go. I got to go. I gotta leave. You can't leave me down here like this, brother. It's already over. I'm ready to cash out. Forget about it. The next presidential race is going to be a three-way between Biden, Trump, and DeSantis? You call that a choice? In Georgia, you have a choice, if you dare call it that, between Warnock and Walker. WW3. You call this a choice? You have a choice between a degenerate liar. You have a choice between a degenerate liar who looks like a cartoon character. He looks like, what's his name? The evil doctor from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You have a choice between him and Concussed. Between him and The Hills Have Eyes. Between him and Lift Every Voice, all 15 of them in my head, and Sing. That's who we have a choice between now. Stop the damn world and let me off. I'll take my chances somewhere else. When I told you all that this gets worse, I wasn't jiving and I wasn't exaggerating. It gets worse. If you're up there in Pennsylvania, God help you. If you're in Georgia, God can't help you. It's already over. So get ready for the ride is all I can tell you. Whatever's going to happen in Georgia is just going to happen to y'all now. Get ready for the ride. Here we go. There's just nothing else you can do. This man is telling you, well, yes, I've been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, but I'm okay now. No, I don't need to be treated. Who said you don't need to be treated, sir? Well, my second voice did. So, no, I'm fine. Now let me get to the Senate so I can help run your life. Oh my God, in the chat room, somebody said Fetterman versus Walker 2032 presidential debate. Look here, y'all. I'm going to be the first Negro who illegally crosses the border into Mexico. If that race ever comes up, if that election ever happens, Them illegals coming up here, I'm cashing out my bank accounts. I'm going to be the first Negro you ever saw who was stealing his way and illegally crossing the border into Mexico. I'm going down. That's it. I'll take my chances with the Sicarios and the Cholos. I'll take my chances down there. If it's a race between Fetterman and Walker, it's already over. I'm taking my chances down there, damn it. That's it. Load up the Escalade. I'm going down there. Well, better yet, sell the Escalade. I ain't trying to get robbed at the border, but yeah, I'm gone.
Ready to vote with the Georgia voters, whereas Senator Warnock has voted with Joe Biden 96. From any type of mental illness, you can get help. All you got to do is ask. And I will always be a champion for mental health.
And just to clarify, how can Georgia voters, though, be assured that this will not impact your ability to lead if elected?
Because I'm ready to lead today. I'm ready to vote with the Georgia voters, whereas Senator Warnock has voted with Joe Biden 96% of the time. I'm ready to vote with the Georgia voters today.
I'm not being mean. I'm not being cruel. Folks, do you understand that if he says, I'm willing to vote with the Georgia voters today, but Mr. Walker, you've got extra constituents, non-existent constituents who live in your head. Are you voting with those Georgians too? Mr. Walker, I couldn't help but notice, yes, there's millions of people in the state of Georgia, but we're also counting a few extra Georgia citizens in your head. Do you also vote with them? Or are you going to tell them, okay, I can't listen to y'all. I want you all to think that over for a moment. Is he going to vote with them too? Does he sit down and listen to them also? No, I'm not being facetious. No, I'm not bullying. No, I'm not joking. I'm dead ass. Does he consult them before he makes a decision? Does he consult them before he's gonna take a vote? Does he count them among the Georgia citizens that he listens to and will be voting with? No, I'm not joking. Y'all, if I had a choice between Warnock, Walker, and Bushwick Bill, I would vote with Bushwick and take my damn chances.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll move on to our next topic. Tina?
And that topic, gentlemen, is health insurance. Georgia is one of 12 states that have not accepted federal funding to expand Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. Mr. Walker, with more than 1.5 million Georgians uninsured, in 1 minute, is it time for the federal government to step in to ensure all Georgians have access to health care?
Well, right now,
well, at least she kept the sentence easy. She didn't throw in any large words or anything. At least she kept the sentence easy. She did such a good job tonight.
Uninsured. In 1 minute, is it time for the federal government to step in to ensure all Georgians have access to health care?
Well, right now, people have coverage for health care. It's according to what type of coverage do you want. Because if you have an able-bodied job, you're going to have health care. But everyone else have health care is the type of health care you're going to get. And I think that is the problem. And what Senator Warnock wants...
Let me back that up again. Boy, the Sally's Beauty Supply people need to get their damn money off of her. The Sally's Beauty Supply she needs to send them a check. She needs to send them a check and tell them, boy, I sure am glad y'all had this thing in stock for me.
Well, right now, people have coverage for health care. It's according to what type of coverage do you want. Because if you have an able-bodied job, you're going to have health care. But everyone else have health care is the type of health care you're going to get. And I think...
what was that sentence? If you have a job, you have health care, but for everybody else, it's the health care that you have. What?
Well, right now, people have coverage for health care. is according to what type of coverage do you want. Because if you have an able-bodied job, you're going to have health care. But everyone else have health care is the type of health care you're going to get.
But everyone else who have health care is the type of health care you gonna get.
But everyone else have health care is the type of health care you're going to get.
But everyone else have health care is the type of health care you gon' boy, you know what? Fetterman sounded a little more articulate than Walker does.
Able-bodied job, you're going to have
able-bodied job. What about the disabled people, sir?
Health care. But everyone else have health care is the type of health care you're going to get. And I think that is the problem. And what Senator Warnock wants you to do is depend on the government. What I want you to do is get off the government health care and get on the health care he's got to get you a better health care. So that's what I'm trying to do, to make you independent rather than dependent.
You mean like all those kids who couldn't go to college, so you told them go work on your folks' farm or go to war and get your arm blown off? Herschel, less is more, less is more, less is more.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Oh boy,
Senator
wasn't that
Warnock,
a pause?
What I want you to do is get off the government health care and get on the health care he's got to get you a better health care. So that's what I'm trying to do, to make you independent rather than dependent.
Thank you, Mr.
Boy, Tina had to pause for a second there, didn't she? She couldn't even finish her next damn sentence. Tina had to pause and say, wait a minute, what did that Negro say? Maybe I would give a follow-up. The white dude didn't try to follow up or nothing. He's like, damned if I know. Tina was probably looking at him. Did you comprehend what he just said? Look here, Tina. I'm going to ask Warnock a follow-up question because I can't even decipher what Walker's saying.
What I want you to do is get off the government health care and get on the health care he's got to get you a better health care. So that's what I'm trying to do, to make you independent rather than dependent.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Senator Warnock, you have...
Yeah, she gave up on that one. She was like, thank you, Mr. Walker. Mr. Warnock, maybe you can give us an answer we can understand, because we're going to need the transcript to figure out what he just said. So why don't we go ahead and pass the mic to you?
1 minute. You've vowed to close the Medicaid gap by expanding access coverage in the Affordable Care Act marketplace. So this comes with a $50 billion price tag, the national debt already at an all-time high. Where is this money coming from? You have 60 seconds, sir.
This is not a theoretical issue for me. When I think about health care, I think about Lori Davis, a trauma nurse in Covington, Georgia, who's...
Okay, first you got Herschel, who is incoherent. Then you got Warnock trying to tap dance around every damn question, so he sounds incoherent at best. At best, Raphael Warnock sounds incoherent. At worst, he sounds like a degenerate, dishonest liar. He can't even address a simple damn question outright. Negro, you haven't earned the right to take us down fantasy aisle to tell us some tales and some fables about your constituents. Just answer the damn question.
Spent her career taking care of people. And then she got sick and she had to give up that job. And as she got sicker and sicker, she found herself without health care. She was one of the 600,000 Georgians in the Medicaid gap. She died for lack of health care. And so I ran saying that I would fight to expand Medicaid. Georgia needs to expand Medicaid. It costs us more not to expand. What we're doing right now is we're subsidizing health care in other states. Meanwhile, we've seen 10 hospitals in this state close, 10. And the Atlanta Medical Center right down the street from my church, where I visit my members, has announced that it's going to close. And so Georgia needs a senator who believes, like I do, that health care is a human right. And I will continue to fight until the working class people, by the way, the folks who don't have health care, they work every single day. The folks who are in the gap,
and I believe in that
the folks, let me finish. The folks who are in the gap, the folks who are in the gap are the working poor.
We are moving on, Senator Warnock.
I believe in health care, but he didn't mention that.
Listen, Mr. Walker, if I can get your attention, please. In just a few weeks, Wellstar will close its doors. This is Atlanta Medical Center, which primarily serves patients in lower income and minority communities. Hospitals nationwide.
Minority communities, that means that's one of them places where black folk got to count their internal organs before they come in and then do another count after they leave.
Are dealing with nursing shortages, doctor shortages in the wake of the pandemic. Mr. Walker, what measures can Congress enact to ensure everyone has access to hospitals and doctors? You have 30 seconds, sir.
Well, first of all, Senator Warnock was correct that he believed in working with people, but he didn't do it because Governor Kemp has a plan that would have been a very good plan. But he stood back while Biden destroyed the plan.
He stood back while Biden destroyed the plan. Okay. Y'all closed the churches and the bicycle shops in Georgia. Clearly, you cannot run them responsibly. It's causing too much havoc. Close the churches and the bicycle shops.
And he's talking about he believes in the extension of it. He stood back. Well, what the people can be assured of is I'm willing to meet with hospital administrator, meet with.
Y'all, he stopped mid-sentence again.
Has a plan that would have been a very good plan. But he stood back while Biden destroyed the plan. And he's talking about he believes in the extension of it. He stood back. Well, what the people can be assured of is I'm willing to meet with hospital administrator, meet with people rather than writing a letter, because Senator Warnock waited till they made a decision and wrote a letter. And I said they don't need a pen pal, they need solutions.
We are moving on.
Now, that was actually a good one. They don't need a pen pal, they need solutions. So hopefully he can hold it together for that. Hopefully.
Now, Senator Warnock, that same question to you, sir. What measures can Congress enact to ensure everyone has access to hospitals and doctors? You have 30 seconds.
Well, clearly he doesn't have a solution.
He said I'll meet with administrators. That's a solution.
He said
you didn't do that.
His solution is to meet. My solution is to pass legislation, which I've done. I got $4 billion in the American Rescue Plan to help the non-expansion states to do what they should have done to expand. They left that money on the table. Georgia left 600,000 Georgians in the Medicaid gap. And so I'm going to keep standing up because people are literally dying for lack of health care. Dr. King said that of all the injustices, inequality in health care is the most shocking and the most inhumane. I agree with Dr. King.
Thank you, Senator Warnock.
You agree with Dr. King? Did Dr. King tell you, bring me the kids so we can go ahead and get rid of this pregnancy? Warnock, you are the last man anywhere needs to be quoting Dr. King, brother. I'm just doing you a little bit of help, man. It doesn't even sound sincere coming from you. You just need to get off the King train altogether. You look weird as hell trying to do it. You sound crazy as hell trying to do it. Just stop.
The table. Georgia left 600,000 Georgians in the Medicaid gap. And so I'm going to keep standing up because people are literally dying for lack of health care. Dr. King said that of all the injustices, inequality in health care is the most shocking and the most inhumane. I agree with Dr. King.
Thank you, Senator Warnock. Buck, now the next topic.
Thank you, Tina. We're going to talk about foreign policy now. Russian President Vladimir Putin has threatened to use nuclear weapons in the conflict with Ukraine, prompting President Biden to claim that we are on the verge of Armageddon. Senator Warnock.
Now, I'm about to wrap things up here, even though it's been 43 minutes in. They got another 10 minutes, but to be totally honest, according to my notes, nothing else really, well, we've already seen the worst, so there's not a whole lot to miss. But we'll go ahead and finish this part about Russia and Ukraine.
If nuclear weapons are used, how should the United States respond? You have 60 seconds.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that we are standing up to Putin's aggression. And we have to continue to stand up, which is why I stood up to the Biden administration when it suggested that we should close the Savannah Combat Readiness Training Center. I told the president that was the exact wrong thing to do at the exact wrong time. And I'm glad that I was able to stand up with Congressman Buddy Carter and others. And we kept that training center open. I've seen up close what those service members do. They are the tip of the spear. And we have to make sure that our service members know that we have their back We have to strengthen our allies and the NATO alliance as we've done and make sure we stand up to Russian aggression. Nothing could be more important.
Mr. Walker, the same question to you. If nuclear weapons are used, how should the U.S. respond? You have 60
Well, first of all, he talked about standing up. You didn't stand up to Chuck Schumer when you could have got a helicopter company here of almost $1 billion. You let it go to New York. You didn't stand up then. You didn't stand up to Biden when he left American people and had 13 military soldiers killed in Afghanistan. You didn't stand up then. So what we can do is, Putin is a bully. And the way you beat a bully, you show strength. Well, Senator Warnock said he stood up. He not stood up to Biden. If he was standing up, he wouldn't have voted with him 96% of the time, which gave us an open border, which gave us high inflation, which gave us crime in the streets. And you're talking about standing up? He didn't stand up. He have laid down every time it came around. And
he didn't stand up. He stood bike. He ain't talking about he stood up. He didn't stand up. He stood bike. Okay.
You know that, Senator.
It is evident.
Boy, Herschel looks serious as hell, don't he? That must be the angry voice. That must be the angry voice. Take a look at Herschel's face, y'all. He's talking about, I don't need no treatment for my dissociative identity disorder. What the hell you talking about, Warnock? Look at his face, y'all. I'm just saying. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, you can tell when he gets serious, he gets down on it, don't he? So before now, I'm just saying, when you take a look at him before now, can you bring the previews back up here? Boy, I'm telling you, he don't know what to do at that point. 1 minute, you take a look at him, hey, well, everything you're fine over here. We're going on it. He's happy-go-lucky at first. Then he gets over here, boy, I'm telling you, the angry voice showed up.
You didn't stand up to Biden when he left American people and had 13 military soldiers killed in Afghanistan. You didn't stand up then. So what we can do is, Putin is a bully. And the way you beat a bully, you show strength. Well, Senator Warnock said he stood up. He not stood up to Biden. If he was standing up, he wouldn't have voted with him 96% of the time, which gave us an open border, which gave us high inflation, which gave us crime in the streets. And you're talking about standing up? He didn't stand up. He have laid down every time it came around. And you know that, Senator.
Boy, I'm telling you, y'all saw that there. The angry voice spoke up this time.
That he has a point. That he
standing up. He didn't stand up. He have laid down every time it came around. And you know that, Senator.
Boy, don't he look like he about to go over there and say, where my damn money? Y'all, take a look at that. Don't he look like he about to go over there and say, break my bread? You better drop my change, dude. Finally caught up with your ass. Y'all take a look at that. I don't need no treatment. I'm fine. I talked to my pastor. He looked like he about to go over there and body slam the other pastor. Herschel Walker, I think, fought in the UFC years and years ago when they were still struggling. I think Herschel Walker fought in the UFC for a couple of fights. He looked like he ready to end out his career tonight. Take a look at Herschel, y'all. Boy, Herschel looking serious as hell. Like, yeah, nigga, say something. Say something. Y'all see right there, Herschel's licking his lips with the say something. Every black man in America knows we done did that one. If somebody owe us something, hey, my hand is up. I'm guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. That's been me too. That's how I recognize it. Y'all, Warnock is in the heart of danger right now, is what I'm trying to tell you. Warnock is in danger. Dude, it's about 8 feet between you and Herschel. Bruh, you in the heart of danger right now. You in the heart of danger. Herschel is looking at you and all he sees is that fella who owes him that extra $60. He looking at you and the voices are saying, you know he owes us money, right? You ain't gonna let him get away with that, don't you? You know he owes us money, right? You ain't gonna let him go off this stage without checking him, right? You ain't gonna let him go, right? And Herschel's like, all right, sit back. I'll take care of this. I'll take care of this. Y'all are in trouble in Georgia. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. That's all I had to tell you. You're in trouble. I don't know how bad it's going to get. I just know it's going to be bad. Lord, Lord, Lord. And next up is Stacey Abrams. I'll be damned. Next up is Stacey Abrams. Georgia is done. It's over. It's over at this point, boy. It's about to get bad, and if she shows up, stick a fork in Georgia, it's done. Can you stick a fork in a peach? You better start practicing. Better start practicing. Man, look here. If you all want to know what happened during the debate, that's what happened during the debate. I sat down and watched it so you wouldn't have to, but we went ahead and reviewed it tonight so you all would be aware that was what occurred. You got pimp, player, simp, Warnock, and you got the Dementia Olympics Walker. There is no choice to make. If Big Bird is on the ballot, I suggest you go ahead and vote for Big Bird. And I mean that. Here's the killing part about it. The killing part about it is Warnock looked worse than Herschel Walker did. That's the real problem. Let me go ahead and play this part here when they talk about Biden.
Good things done for the people of Georgia. I worked with a senator from Texas.
Laid down every time it came around, and you know that, Senator.
It is evident that he has a point that he tries to make time and time again. I've stood up to the Biden administration so that they could keep open this Combat Training Readiness Center, stood with our congressional delegation to do that. I've worked across the aisle time and time to get good things done for the people of Georgia. I worked with a senator from Texas to build out I-14. I worked with a Republican senator from Alabama to help Georgia farmers get their products to market. I will work with anyone and stand up against anybody I need to stand up against to get good things done for Georgia. I work for the people of Georgia.
We need to move forward to our next topic, gentlemen. Our time is running short. Both of you have strong backing from your respective parties. Senator Warnock, a simple yes or no here. You will have a chance to explain, but I'd like a simple yes or no. Would you support President Biden running for a second term in 2024?
I've not spent a minute thinking about what politicians should run for what in 2024.
Oh, hell! Oh, hell! Y'all, he hadn't answered a single damn question tonight. And now, with the most important question that he gets asked, will you support the man you voted with 96% of the time? Will you support him? Man, I ain't even think about Biden. I ain't think about none of that. I'll be damned. All of you Warnock butt kissers, y'all need to come on up here. Is this your man? Is this your man? Is this your man? Did you all hear that? Are you going to support Biden in 2024? I haven't given no thought to who's running in 2024. Okay. You think that's good news for Biden? All you Biden butt kissers and Kamala Harris hoes, y'all think this is a good sign? This is your man. Your man who's running right now ain't claiming Biden. Your man running right now done just threw Biden smooth, slapped the hell under them bus wheels. I mean, he laid him down slow so he can make sure them damn things get him. Your man ain't even claiming Biden, but you gonna sit up here and stomp like it's colors. The Bidens and Crips. And your man ain't claiming Biden. He's like, man, damn, I'm trying to get elected. Damn Biden, I'm trying to get me up in there.
Would you support President Biden running for a second term in 2024?
I've not spent a minute thinking about what politicians should run for what in 2024.
Is that a yes or a no?
The answer is I have not, and maybe this is difficult. Maybe this is difficult for people.
Oh, y'all, do you see how he's stuttering, stammering, and pausing? Look at the expression on his face. He looked like dumb Donald. All of a sudden, them big buck eyes ain't showing up like that no more. Folks, he is having an incredible amount of turmoil right now. His soul is in distress at this moment. All they did was ask, do you support Biden? Well, you see what it is. I mean, you understand, chickie baby. It's different. He's talking like he does to them chicks he takes to the damn abortion clinic. Well, you gotta understand, I know this is a difficult choice, but look here, honey chickie baby. Honey chickie baby. See, there's a certain way we gotta think about this right here, okay? We can't just jump off into these things.
In 2024.
Is that a yes or a no?
The answer is I have not, and maybe this is difficult. Maybe this is difficult for people to understand because that's how politicians think. I think that part of the problem with our politics right now is that it's become too much about the politicians. You're asking me who's going to run in 24? The people of Georgia get to decide who's going to be their senator in 3 days, Monday. And I hope they'll show up and vote. And I'd be honored to represent them in the Senate.
You haven't thought about it. If you can think about it now, in 2024, the president will turn 82 years old. Are you concerned about his physical and his mental fitness at that time? You have 30 seconds.
The people of Georgia hired me to represent them regardless of who's in the White House. I'm honored to do that job every single day. My dad said if somebody hires you to do a job, do the job they hired you to do. They didn't hire me to be a pundit. And I'm working every single day for hardworking families in Georgia, for our women, for our workers, and for kids like me growing up in places like Caton Homes.
Mr. Walker, former President Trump is also considering
growing up in places like Caton Homes. Folks, is that some mega influential constituency that everybody in Georgia knows? He just name dropped a place I never heard of, like people living in Caton Homes. That's some key constituency? I don't know. Maybe one of y'all who lives in Georgia, Jason, you don't understand. Caton Homes is a very well-known place. Everybody in Georgia knows Caton Homes. We all got kinfolk who live there, so it's very good that he mentioned. What the hell is Caton Homes? That it's worthy of getting a name drop. What's going on at Caton Homes? Like he's talking about them like that's Georgia State University. So what is so influential about Caton Homes?
also considering a run for the White House in 2024. If you can give me a simple
and for kids like me growing up in places like Caton Homes.
Mr. Walker, former President Trump is also considering a run for the White House in 2024. If you can give me a simple yes or no answer, and we'll give you time to explain as well. Would you support a Trump 2024 run?
Yes, I would. And let me tell you, President Trump is my friend. Has nothing to do with that. He's my friend. I won't leave my allies, which is what Senator Warnock.
No. Herschel, damn it! Less is more. Less is more. I leave my allies. What? Let me back this up. Let's try this again.
Allies, and right now on a foreign stage, and I won't leave my allies, which is what.
I won't lead my allies. Is that what he's trying to say? I won't lead my.
Has nothing to do with that. He's my friend. I won't leave my allies.
He my friend, and I won't lead my allies. Folks, I can't back I can neither support his statement nor condemn it because I cannot decipher his statement. What the hell was that?
And let me tell you, President Trump is my friend. Has nothing to do with that. He's my friend. I won't.
He my friend. This sounds like an episode of Damn Me Sesame Street.
Leave my allies, which is what Senator Warnock and Joe Biden did in Afghanistan. They left their allies.
Oh, I won't leave my allies.
Simple yes or no answer, and we'll give you time to explain as well. Would you support a Trump 2024 run?
Yes, I would. And let me tell you, President Trump is my friend. Has nothing to do with that. He's my friend. I won't leave my allies, which is what Senator Warnock and Joe Biden did in Afghanistan. They left their allies.
Okay, he had to come back and clarify that. Okay, well, I think we can go from here. Now that we understand that he's not saying he's not going to lead his allies, he's not going to leave his. Are the voices in conflict? You know we need to support our allies. Man, damn them folks. We got folk to take care of over here. So, did we just see an episode? I'm not going to lead my allies. We can't leave our allies. Don't leave the allies. Okay. Georgia is getting scary around here.
Would you support a Trump 2024 run?
Yes, I would. And let me tell you, President Trump is my friend. Has nothing to do with that. He's my friend. I won't leave my allies, which is what Senator Warnock and Joe Biden did in Afghanistan. They left their allies. They left their allies, and right now on a foreign stage, a lot of these people don't trust us no more. They don't trust us to be strong anymore. So they're waiting to see who's going to stand up, who's going to trust. They have no one to trust right now because I said President Trump is my friend, and he won't stand up with Biden when yet he's voted with him 96% of the time. Let's be real.
Mr. Walker,
Boy, Herschel, the angry voice started coming out again, didn't it? He was holding him down. Y'all, take a look at how his face is changing expressions from one sentence to the next. I ain't beating up on nobody, but he says that he doesn't need any more treatment. Sir, I think you should start taking some Valium right now.
Trust right now, because I said President Trump is my friend, and he won't stand up with Biden when yet he's voted with him 96% of the time. Let's be real.
Boy, I'm telling y'all, the angry voice is taking over.
More. So they're waiting to see who's going to stand up, who's going to trust, and they have no one to trust right now.
Take a look at that facial expression, y'all. This is normal civil Herschel. So y'all, this is Urkel Herschel talking right now. Without the glasses, this is Urkel Herschel. He's about to go to hardcore Herschel.
Right now, because I said President Trump is my friend, and he won't.
Okay, the Urkel Herschel, hardcore Herschel about to come out, y'all.
Won't stand up with Biden when yet he's voted with him 96% of the time. Let's be real.
He licking that lip again. That's hardcore Herschel. Hardcore Herschel. He one word away from doing a 5-year bid. Y'all don't understand. Hardcore Herschel, when that personality take over, he 5 seconds away from doing a 5-year bid. You say the wrong thing, he tick-tock away from doing this 5 years. He's licking the lip again. Folks, this is the definitive dissection and analysis that you'll receive nowhere else. No, I'm not being funny. I'm bringing you every step of it. Oh no, I mean every damn thing I'm saying. Hardcore Herschel is ready to put something on somebody's ass. First about the police, and then about Trump. First about that, and folk getting evicted. Now about Trump. Boy, I'm telling you, hardcore Herschel don't want to hear a damn thing. Hardcore Herschel is like, man, damn this debate. Let's get them up. Y'all don't understand. Folks in Georgia need to understand that, man. Good grief. This is it. Urkel Herschel, Father Herschel, Hardcore Herschel. Vote for me. Put your life and your fate in my hands. Okay. Georgia, it's time to choose. Y'all got 48 hours. You have 48 hours to figure this out. And so far as I can tell, ain't no good choices. The only thing I can tell you here is I'll be damned if it doesn't look like, Warnock is losing.
Mr. Walker, are you concerned about the ongoing legal investigations around the country and including here in Georgia? You have 30 seconds.
Well, first of all, I will hope that Senator Warnock, he and myself being people of color, would want the scales of justice to not have a hand on it. We want the Lady Justice to be blind, but in this instance here, Lady Justice is not blind. And I said right now, with everything that is going on,
did he just invoke quote unquote people of color in defense of Donald Trump? Okay, so I guess this is Hambone Herschel. Urkel Herschel, Father Herschel, Hardcore Herschel. Now here comes Hambone Herschel. Here comes the Hambone personality. Well, you got to understand, like Stephen from Django Unchained, we loved him here. This is our house and we got to take care of it. Wow. What the hell is going on?
What I like to do is get to what's important. What's important is protecting the border. What's important is protecting people on the street. What's important is getting this inflation down. Not what's going on there in Washington, talking about whether President Trump is guilty or not guilty. What I want to do is see due process, which is what I hope Senator Warnock and myself would love to see.
Y'all, did he go from talking... He went from talking about whether he supports Trump to me and Warnock as people of color to we need to watch the border and crime on the streets. Okay, let me explain to you what just happened there. He started the answer and then he remembered what his debate coaches and handlers told him. They told him that if they ask you about Trump, turn the answer back to the border. Turn the answer back to crime and to the things that Warnock is weak on. Problem, he started answering the damn question like Waldo Faldo, and then at the last minute, I remember, I ain't supposed to say nothing about that. We really need to stop talking about Washington, and we need to talk about the border and crime and teddy bears and candy canes and candy bars. That's what we need to focus on. So they probably coached him and told him that if they ask you about Trump, don't answer about that. Turn the question back to the border and just say we need to worry about other issues. You saw that Warnock did that when you asked about Biden. So this is how you know they were both coached and advised the same thing. If somebody asks you about the president or about Trump, you sit up here and dodge the question and tell them we need to talk about something else. We don't need to talk about Washington.
We want the scales of justice to have not Warnock here.
Around the country and including here in Georgia. You have 30 seconds.
Well, first of all, I will hope that Senator Warnock, he and myself being people of color, will want the scales of justice to not have a hand on it. We want the Lady Justice to be blind, but in this instance here, Lady Justice is not blind. And I said right now, with everything that is going on, what I like to do is get to what's important. What's important is protecting the border. What's important is protecting people on the street. What's important is getting this inflation down. Not what's going on there in Washington, talking about whether President Trump is guilty or not guilty. What I want to do is see due process, which is what I hope Senator Warnock and myself would love to see.
Okay. All right, maybe this was enough for some of the rest of y'all. I'm sitting here dazed right now, folks, and I watched this the first time through. I'm just sitting here dazed. So, and understand something, even after all of that, we still can't say that Warnock won. We still can't say that. Even after hearing all that, we still can't say it.
Changing topics now, we're going to move forward just to give you guys both an update that you may want to know, although the news is not great if you're a Braves fan. Right now, they're in the top of the ninth inning, Game 3, National League Division Series, down 9-1 to the Phillies. Not a great night for the Braves. Just a few weeks ago, the World Series champs, though, they did visit the White House. Their visit sparked a renewed debate about the team's name and their signature tomahawk chop. Mr. Walker, do you believe the Braves should rethink their name, their logo, or their signature cheer? You have 30 seconds.
Not at all. Right now, we have too many other things to be concerned about. We have people dying on the streets in Atlanta, around the country. We have people living paycheck to paycheck, can't afford food to put on their table, can't afford gas. We have Putin out there. We have China out there. We can't be concerned about whether the Braves are going to change their name. We need to be concerned about saving this country. We need to be concerned about saving the Georgia people. We need to be concerned about giving people a right to live the liberties and freedoms that the Constitution of the United States guarantees them to have.
Senator Warnock, the same question to you in regards to the Braves. Do you think they should rethink their name, their logo, or their signature cheer?
Well, first of all, I'm praying for the Braves right about now. They've got a ways to go here. Listen, the management of the Braves is meeting with our tribes, and they're having a conversation about this. And I know the folks over at the Braves organization, and I trust that they and the tribes that they're talking to will come to a place that makes sense for all involved.
And that basically was the debate. We're not going to play any more here. For those of you who didn't watch it the first time through, Jason Black did. And let me tell you, it was no easier watching it this time than it was the first time. All I can say is these are your choices. No, Warnock did not put Walker away. As a matter of fact, there were a few times that Walker stunned Warnock. Warnock sounded like the worst pimp, pastor, preacher. He didn't even sound like a competent one. He sounded like the incompetent one who'd been filling in at other people's churches and then finally slipped up and messed around and got his church of his own and now don't know how to run it. And he should have. How the hell is this even a question of whether or not you won the debate with Herschel Walker? Herschel brought all of his personalities from his dissociative identity disorder. All of them were up there on the stage and they were all tag teaming in and whooping on Warnock. This was horrendous. This was horrendous. And Stacey Abrams is still floating around out there. All right. Well, in the state of Georgia, if you all want to know what happened in the great debate, this is what happened here. This was the single most bewildering, astounding, nonsensical political debate I have ever witnessed in my life. I watched George W. Bush with the thingy on his back. I watched Donald Trump. I watched Hillary Clinton. All of them looked like highfalutin academics compared to Tweedledum and Tweedledummer. If you're not a religious person, you need to be after you watch that debate. I don't think it's enough to leave it to politics. You might want to appeal to a higher power. Your fate is in their hands, and so far as I can tell, there isn't a good option. But okay, give it a shot. If anybody had any questions about what happened during the debate, Jason, how bad was it? It was that bad. It was that bad. That's how it went. Jason, how did it go? It went like that. It went like that. Get ready for the ride is all I can tell you. Get ready for the ride. Look, I have served my purpose as the black media. I let you all know y'all got to hear this debate to believe it. I know we've gone on for a while, but to be totally honest, I think it was well worth it. Now you all are completely informed about what occurred. If anybody tries to tell you that Raphael Warnock is better than Herschel Walker, now you've heard what the hell kind of game they trying to pull. Can you imagine what the others are going to sound like? I got to keep my eye on Pennsylvania. Gonna keep my eye on Pennsylvania after this one. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up for you all here tonight. I want to thank you all for showing up here. I want to thank you for tuning in and listening. Thousands of you here now. Go ahead and replay this later. You have gotten the exhaustive, comprehensive analysis that you will receive nowhere else. That is why you trust us as the black media, and we have fulfilled our obligations. Good luck getting this kind of analysis from Bowling Ball Martin. He's hoping to get a job with Warnock or Walker, whoever's willing to hire him. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. We do this every weekend. This is the reason why we are the Black Media. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every weekend. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go there and check out our groundbreaking, best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD, streaming, and Amazon. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your bewildered and exhausted humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is coherent.